Greetings and salutations, Ledge Lords and Ladies. I am one of your hosts, Mark. Welcome to Gamers Ledge. But I am a player this evening, so let's turn it over to our DM, John.
Hey, welcome everybody. Really great to be here tonight. Exciting to be where we are. Last week, we had an exciting adventure. We discovered there were robots and they might be sentient. And there's this weird thing going on with flowers and some really exciting things happening. But before we get too far, I want to go ahead and say hello to, you've already met Mark. I want to say hello to Chris.
Hey everyone, glad to be back.
I want to say hello to Daniel.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And there we go. Yeah. So before we get started, do you three have any questions or anything you've forgotten about last week, or what's on your mind, gentlemen?
Well, they have those two new sets of dual box Warhammer things coming out. Just kidding.
But they do.
Yeah, they do.
But they do. What
yeah.
the stream doesn't know is, yes, there's an inside joke. Daniel and I were geeking out about the new Kill Team stuff coming from Games Workshop, and we are excited. It is amazing. And you know what? It almost makes me think that maybe Gamers Ledge needs a Games Workshop program. Maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to add it. I don't know. We'll see. Put your comments below. Let us know. But tonight, it's riffs.
It is riffs.
And what's on your mind, gentlemen?
Okay, so we had figured out that there were about 20 that had the parasite, the intelligent parasite, correct?
That is correct. But,
and I was over the course of like a couple days, I was able to repair the ones that were broken.
You were absolutely
Okay.
Yes.
Well, their bodies, not their spirits.
Their bodies, not their spirits. I was also trying to figure out. I think it was something I had mentioned at the end of last stream. Trying to figure out how they control the robots that do not have sentience.
Yes, we were going to look for a way that they were doing that.
So it is by wireless from his computer in his house. That's going to be easy for you to figure out. I mean, this kind of stuff is all you, Z-Teach.
Okay.
And you know.
Yeah, that is kind of his jam.
Yeah. Now, how much, when it comes to that, how much of your science is technical, and how much of it is biological?
So I would say probably most of this Z teaches science knowledge is weird science. Weird. And technical. While he has some knowledge, I mean, he's a very smart individual, but has no actual medical training or biology, I would think. So he's smart and he could put it together, and he can think through problems coming with biology probably, but not anywhere near some of the fringe sciences.
Okay. I was just wondering where you landed on the whole alien xenobiology thing.
So, have you seen the show Fringe? Because I was thinking about this after last game. The show Fringe has a main character named Walter Bishop, who is known for being a scientist in all of the exterior things, studying um, how science works on different things and building strange devices. That's how I see this CG.
Okay.
Kind of just out there. I personally have a love for all things robotic and AI, so so does this teach.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. The other thing that, and we can say it's been a couple days. You've got everything fixed. The other thing that you would have instantly noticed, and I know you would have looked at, is the robots, the enforcer robots you guys kind of blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They were um, they are built to a bit of a tougher standard. And
Speaking of which,
seem more um, combat robot than farmer robot or utility robot or whatever.
since I couldn't recognize what that metal was,
Yes.
I'm going to take a chunk of metal from them.
Okay. All right.
If I can, and maybe do some tests.
Well, I don't
on
know. Yeah, I mean, just you'll want to coordinate with Z-Teach. I don't know if he's planning to
it. Okay.
build something with the robot parts or whatever. But
I can't even lift them. They're all yours. Okay, so were you saying that the metal they're made out of is different than the metal that the farmer ones are made out of? Is that kind of what you were saying?
yes.
Okay.
So, as your friend, I am going to stage an intervention. What is in your hand, Daniel?
A soda?
What kind of
Water?
soda?
Can I say? I'm sorry. Should I have covered it?
No. But seriously, what one is it in your hand?
A&W zero.
You
sugar,
traitor.
Zero sugar.
Oh,
Otherwise, I wouldn't.
okay.
Is it root beer?
Yeah, but it's the wrong root beer. That's why I was.
What's wrong with A&W?
It doesn't have bite.
That's right. It's a cream soda, is what it is.
And I do love A&W cream soda, but this is zero sugar, and Barks at this point does not have a readily available sugar-free option.
That is Barks doesn't have a readily available option, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can't even find it in stores.
Where I grew up in Missouri, the place we went to for shakes and ice cream and whatever was the local A&W. And
That's what happens when you live 30 years in the past. I can say that because I grew up in Missouri also.
I mean, the thing was to go to A&W and get a root beer float.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is just like the high point of my childhood is A&W root beer floats. That's so anyway,
I've never been a fan of root beer floats. I don't know. Something about the
A&W root beer, I think anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was a child at the time. 30 years ago, Mark, that would have been.
Hey, Chris, you have to understand. Mark and John grew up where sarsaparilla was really the only option, so root beer is
Right.
the successor to that.
That's correct. You had to go to the tree and wring it to death.
I'm talking more than 45 years ago, and so I don't know if the root beer was better and had bite back then, or if I was just a kid and didn't care. But all I know is those root beer floats were freaking fantastic.
Mm.
And that was it was a treat.
And they're even better when you use good root beer.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. I mean, it was a big deal. I mean, I grew up in a family, we didn't have a lot of money. I mean, going to...
Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to sidetrack you anymore. Chris, you had a question. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, going to A&W at the end of, once a month or once every 3 months was a big freaking deal. That was like going to Ruth's Chris. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yes, Chris, you had a question.
No, I was just saying, Chris,
no.
it's your medals. Go ahead. That was all. It's your medal. Do it.
Yeah, I wanna take a chunk of metal off them and just find out some more about it. Right. Probably should have given John some heads up beforehand so that he could have these details ready.
Yeah, it's now you're going to pick up a robot and try to beat some of the metal out of it, right?
Or furnace it. I mean, we have a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Or smelt it, not furnace it. That's different, right?
Yeah. Or I don't know, since
I mean, there is
also
no
can
forge
engrave,
there.
I assume I have some kind of small saws or something to take chunks off.
Wait, what did we do with the guy? He was pinned underneath there.
He was wrapped.
Yeah, in a
on the
bicycle.
ground.
Yeah. So, and that is the
That was
last
3 days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago he had a bicycle wrapped around him. I guess we ought to back up 3 days and figure out what you're going to do with this guy.
I mean, he's wrapped in a bicycle. Can he get out of it?
Not by himself.
Well, then probably take that and have Sveta put it on his bed, and then we can just keep him in the house.
Wrapped in the bicycle.
Wrapped in the bicycle.
Okay. There's his name, by the way, in case anybody forgot. Extra More, welcome to the channel. That's hilarious. You're going to leave him wrapped in the bicycle.
Well, I mean, then he can't get away or out or do something nefarious.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. I don't know what to say about that, but okay. That's funny. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, so you're just going to put him in his room, basically room arrest. Are you going to feed the guy, take him for bathroom breaks? I mean, what's going on?
I mean, Sveta, can you make it so it's only constricting his upper body for taking to the bathroom and then wrap it back around his legs? You done?
Amazing.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, where are we? Boom. There we go.
It's a map. It's a map. It's a map. By the way, John,
Where did...
you got to get with me after the game today, and I'm going to show you a Roll20 thing that will make map making so much easier for you.
Okay, great idea.
Wow.
Great idea. So I don't know if this was the picture you had in your head from my description. But house, shed, dormitory, barn, well in the middle, and 52 described a place where they come and get the flowers.
Which it was like a silo kind of thing?
No, it was like a concrete pad, basically,
Oh, okay.
an oval and you can see it on the map.
Yeah.
That's the white thing?
Yeah. It's actually gray, but yes.
Oh.
And then, of course, that purple is fields of flowers. And the flowers are also on the other side of the road and across the bridge.
I'm hoping that whatever they come in is a ship with thrusters, because that will be so much faster to clear all these flowers.
That would be. That would be, yes. That would help.
So, not that I don't think these flowers should burn, because they probably should, but if we worked out some kind of deal with them, and stopped the destroying of them, do you think they might be good allies to have for the Hetman?
I mean, versus the Hetman's enemies, I guess.
That's what I mean.
But you'd still have to cut them down to give them to the enemies.
No. Just leave them here and let them grow here.
That
I don't know. I'm not from here, so I don't know if that would be better or worse.
well, I mean, if we were back at your labs, would you leave something like this untended?
No.
That's kind of how I'm approaching it.
I mean, if they were just any other normal flower and not sentient, would they just stay here? Or is it natural for a plant to propagate and spread itself?
Right, that's exactly it. Because they're not just going to stay and then eventually die and be gone. They're going to continue to grow until they surrounded the entire countryside. I think they'll be useful maybe for us to take them with us whenever we try and deal with the next threat on the horizon. But again, I don't know that they wouldn't turn on us.
It's funny, I was trying to give John an out so that we didn't kill his species, and he just told me, no, man, you should kill this thing.
No, I didn't. I just,
he just verbalized what I've been saying the entire time, pretty much. That's all.
My style, we've talked about it before, is I make sandboxes and you guys get to play.
In this case, flower boxes.
It is a flower box, yes, sir. I was inspired by a thing, and this is what I came up with. So how you deal with it is how you deal with it, and ramifications are what they are. Whether you destroy everything, maybe there's a ramification. If you let them stay, maybe there's a ramification. It's there's always consequences to whatever you do, and in life, I don't just mean in a game. I mean, that's just what life is.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Sveta is working on the metal or working on freeing some of the metal from the robots, and then stands up, I'll look at the robot and I'll look at Sveta and I say, Sveta, I think you are taller again. You're getting close to the size of the robot.
John, am I?
Are you?
I don't feel any taller, but
he puts his hands on the ground and then does one of these and counts up.
As you would, because you have horses. Nice.
So, yep. If I might count, you're almost 7 feet tall.
it's an interesting development.
I bet your horse is larger too.
Where is my horse?
They're
I
here.
Assumed,
We
yeah.
we rode them here.
Yeah, I mean, when we ended, I mean, you basically rode to here, and so I mean that would basically be where your 3 days ago where your horses are now. I mean, it would actually be logical probably to find a place for them in the barn.
Yep.
There's certainly room in there. The problem you're going to have is the reason. I mean, most everything is dirt here, and when you start getting to plants, it's that flower. So, you can't just let the horses graze here. So,
okay, so couple things. Z Teach, are you able to look through his computer and see if you can figure out who he's been selling these flowers to? I know we have papers. We found some stuff on hard copy, and we can go through that again, but I kind of think he's got to have something on his computer to discuss where the plants came from, how much he's getting paid. I mean, I know we have some of that on hard copy, but
I looked earlier. I'll look again though. That's fine. I have to look at the computer anyway to figure out some other things I'm trying to research. So I'll that'll be one of my side projects, John.
Yeah, why don't you just
Is that a
I'm looking at your skills and I'm debating between electronics and hacking. Um, your hacking's only a D6.
yeah?
Um,
Because most of my stuff is tech that I build, not tech. That was really loud, and it's not weird science, just normal science.
um, yeah. Go ahead though, I guess looking at his computer, looking at that, um, yeah, go ahead and make a hacking roll. And maybe I should be looking at the chat. Okay, so that's a success. So you spend a couple days, um, and plus you interacted with the guy because again, I'm assuming you're actually feeding him.
yes.
I'm sorry. Did you say feeding or beating?
Yes.
Either.
Yes.
So the first thing you get from his computer, and it's from how his files are laid out to how he names his documents to how, you know, this guy's not very bright.
Okay.
You even see some head scratchers like, what the, why would you do this? I mean, um, it's, he's not real smart, or at least tech smart or whatever. Um, and as far as, what you're hoping for, like, accounting and name of who he's selling these things to, there's no blogs, there's no nothing. And even the little bit where he does have some accounting, um, it's not very well done.
Okay.
And surprisingly, the bit that controls the harvesters and the bit that controls the robots is click this link, and it's an amazing simplistic user interface, with very little nuance.
So, specifically to that end, the robot programming stuff, the hardware to be able to control even just one robot, how large is that hardware? Is it something I could fabricate and build to be transportable for myself or the hetmanship?
Um,
Or to enslave the sentient ones.
um, it is make a science roll for me. Okay, yeah, there you go. It takes you a while to locate, right? But you pull out, your first thing is you just kind of basically look. I ought to be able to see this, and because you're able to look at one of the non-sentient robots and see that he's being controlled by wireless. So I should see an antenna. And so you just kind of wander around looking for antennas and you don't see any, right? You see nothing tech-wise here other than, just the robots there. So you pull out one of your doodads and it dawns on you to triangulate the signal, and the
Okay.
signal is coming from the um, the top of the dormitory. You go into the dormitory and there's a ceiling in there, and so you finally um, get a ladder, crawl up into the ceiling, and what you find in there is there are 8 different servers, antenna arrays, and all kinds of robot controlling doodads, and it takes up the entire length of the ceiling of the dormitory. Because there's a few hundred robots here. Um,
So the way I'm picturing it in my head is like banks of servers where each blade in that server is a specific robot.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay. Cool.
yeah, and there's like I said, there's a couple hundred robots, so there's a few hundred blades.
Yeah. I'm good. Thank you.
Um,
I mean,
there's 20 of them that are have red lights, and a
Red.
few hundred that have green lights.
Interesting. Um. Okay. I'll see if I can find maybe the 20 that are. Oh. Okay. Noted. Thank you. Do they have like serial numbers on them or numbers that would attach them to a specific robot?
Um, yeah, I mean, we're
Okay.
saying it's 3 days later. Yes, yes. And what you're finding is the connection for some reason isn't hooking up between that. It's just there's no connection there.
Understood. Okay.
So, um,
I'm gonna
Sveta,
talk to. Oh, go ahead.
um, Sveta, give me a metallurgy roll. Um,
Okay.
go ahead, Mister Bullet Train.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if Sveta's not pounding iron, which sounds like she is, just gonna try and talk to the guy and find out who buys the flowers, where he got them, does he know they're sentient? Did he know that the robots were sentient? That type of stuff.
Right. Um, why don't you make a investigation roll,
I don't think I even have that skill.
Shinkansen?
Oh, okay.
I got.
I'm sorry. Let me give everybody some bennies.
Oh, good. I got really excited because I thought I thought my role was Sveta's metalsmithing role. I'm gonna Benny that. Week.
I thought you would, which is why I suddenly realized, I should probably give you some.
Worst. Investigation.
All right, that's a success. All right, Sveta. Um, in my mind, I decided you needed a raise to do anything with this metal because it's so hard and so strong, and I think that would be a raise. Now, here's the problem. What I'm going to do with this metal smithing roll is, at least at this point, is you figured out you can't do anything with this metal without a forge.
Okay.
And there's no forge here currently.
Can I build a rudimentary one?
So I've been sitting here debating this because I anticipated this conversation. So a rudimentary forge is you need some place to heat metal, right?
Yeah.
And you do have blacksmithing tools and such. What you don't have is an anvil.
Right.
What you also need something that will stoke the fire. You
So
also need something to burn.
percentile check to see whether there's an anvil in the barn. I mean, we are on a farm.
There isn't.
Okay.
I know there isn't. There's and that's intentional. That's this is set up exactly like it is for a reason, and there's no workshop, there's no tools, there's no forge. One of the things about farmers is they usually are
Handy.
yeah, because they you have to fix things. This
Right.
guy has none of that.
Okay.
We're supposed to get the implication. He obviously didn't build these himself.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could probably find bricks. You could probably find, something to build a structure of a forge. I don't know what you would burn to make the forge hot. And I don't know what you would burn that would be hot enough to melt this metal. I'm willing to listen if you have ideas, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, while you think about that,
even wood might not be hot enough, so it's not like I can pull wood from the from the structure of the barn itself.
wood is not going to be hot enough. No. So while you think about that,
Okay.
Mr. Bullet Train,
You could wrap spit bars, hot fire.
Nice. I appreciate you.
I could, haha.
Chris got it. Yes. So
you got a success on your investigation die finally.
yeah, I mean, I'll tell him what we're doing. We're waiting to see who comes, so you might as well tell us beforehand. Who picks up the flowers? Where did you get them? Where did you get the robots? Did you know that some of them were sentient?
He tells you it's the Kurguth.
The Karguth, you say?
As always in chat.
Do I know who that is?
No, never heard it.
Okay. And I say, who are the Karguth? Are they interdimensional traders? Are they?
They come in a circle of light. I had a house here and a little shed and a garden, and I was doing okay. And they arrived one day and said they would help me build a farm, and they wanted me to grow flowers for them. And they said I should avoid the flowers, and they gave me 2 robots. And they came back a month later and collected the flowers and gave me more robots.
I am, by the way, sorry, I should have said I'm recording this
Okay.
just so that I've got the, and describe what the Kargoth look like.
They wear shiny armor, and they have one eye, and they have kind of scary teeth, and they're tall and really skinny.
I guess what I don't understand is you have miles of these flowers now. How do you make sure that no one takes them?
I don't know. That I didn't think about that. The machines go and they do and they collect.
And did you know that some of the machines were sentient?
What's sentient?
Able to think like you and I.
No, they're just robots. They don't do that.
Yeah, 20 of them do.
No, I don't think so.
Even the robot enforcers that you had remnants of people inside them. Or something sentient inside them.
The Kirguth told me that they would just occasionally the programming wouldn't be right, and they gave me those 3 to take care of the ones that need to be reprogrammed.
Yep. So the Karguth are enslaving people, putting them in robots and giving them to you as slaves.
That sounds weird. I don't know. I haven't seen any smart robots.
I'll go outside and I'll get one of the carcasses of the that Z-Teach pulled out of the enforcer robot.
Right.
And I'll bring it in and throw it on the bed by him.
What's that?
That's what was inside the enforcer robot.
That's kind of gross.
And that was a living thing. Like 20-year robots.
I don't know about any of this.
I go out and I'm actually going to... He can walk. So I'm going to walk him out to some of the sentient robots.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask them if we are controlling them in any way, shape, or form right now. Like he used to.
They see him coming and they start acting like robots.
He's not going to hurt you. You don't have to pretend.
They keep pretending.
Guys, seriously, he doesn't know, he doesn't believe that you can think for yourselves.
Reminds me of a cartoon with the guy who found a singing frog. No, really, it's a singing frog. He winds up in the insane asylum.
Yep. That's how this story ends. You went to Japan, you say? Mm-hmm. I'll go stand in front of one of them. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave him there. In fact, I'm going to push him over so that, he's not going to be able to get up. And
okay.
I'll walk over to one of the robots and I'll go in front of wherever it's working or doing and be like, stop, please. Just, he doesn't understand. He thinks you're a robot and have no thoughts.
That keeps us safe.
Yeah, but you don't need to be, you are safe now. You don't need to pretend that you're a robot.
Are you sure?
Yes. We're not going to let any harm come to you. But he doesn't understand, and he won't understand what he's done to you until you guys talk to him.
You're actually talking to 52 here.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
Go over and talk to him. I will pick him up. But go over and talk to him and tell him what you think about, what you dream about, what you feel.
He walks over and he says...
And I pick him up.
He walks over to Borisco and he says, "Hello, my name is 52. And the Borisco just looks shocked. He says, 52, that's a strange name. I thought it sounded good. I don't know much about names, but I liked it when I heard the sound of it."
Borisco doesn't understand for some reason that the 20 of you, the other 19 that are like you, 52, aren't just robots. You're thinking, living beings. Do you know 52 how you came to be in possession by the Karagoth?
By the who?
The people that brought you here?
I've always been here. I woke up here.
Where are you right now, Mark?
I'm out in the driveway, basically like 15 feet from the 3 disabled ones that Svet is working on, between the barn and the I don't yeah,
Where,
thank you.
Where am I, John? Like, where would I be?
Here's the house. So you're here, Mark?
Yeah.
Um,
Would it
you
be
can be
possible to
wherever
get
you
out there?
want, Daniel.
Okay.
I mean, one place you might be is looking at this computer stuff in the dormitory. The robots needing fixed are back here. The computer is in here in the house.
If
You might be looking at the harvesting equipment over here. I
If-
mean,
if I noticed that he was going to take Omen out to talk to the bots, I might have went too. I just didn't know if that's something I would have
sure,
noticed.
sure, you could have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The enforcer robots are right here
Okay.
on the ground. So that's where Sveta is currently.
Yeah, so I'd be like right over here.
They said earlier that they wake up here. Occasionally, one of them wakes up here, so I don't think that they're actually sentient until they have their robot bodies here.
That's very strange. And the numbers are strange. I mean, they've brought all these robots. Why only 20 sentient ones?
How many errors have you been having recently?
Errors?
Yeah, like the one that tried to run across the bridge.
I
Fi-
tried to run across the bridge. I didn't want to be here anymore.
No.
No, he's asking Barisco.
Oh, Barisco. Maybe 30.
That's a much larger sample size.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. That's the reason. The reason that more of these don't have that sentience. My question is, why were the people getting the harvest upgrading these bots to sentience without telling him?
Well, when they start to act funny, the Kurguth fix them for me, and they stop acting funny, stop trying to run across the bridge or something.
Oh gods. Do you have a list of the ones the Kurgag have fixed?
Yeah, maybe.
What are you thinking?
I'm hoping that the sentient ones aren't the ones before being fixed.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Meaning that all of those, and ZTJ will point out at the farms, are the ones, they all start with these creatures.
Well, I mean, he's got
They
a.
act normal for a while, and then it's usually sometime after the Kirguth get here that they start acting funny. And when I notice that, I make a note, and he says, "Can we go inside? Can you take the bicycle off me?"
Yeah, you had us attacked by robots. I'm not real trusting, and I'll move him back inside.
Okay, so he takes you to the computer, and he's got a pad of paper there, and he points, and you see in really crappy handwriting, he's actually got 32 serial numbers written on there. And he says, he points that, he says, if you click on this app on the computer, you can call those 20 serial numbers to meet you by the well.
Do you want to do that, Z-Teach, and then examine them?
First, ZTJ is gonna take just a handful of the numbers.
Yeah.
And run upstairs and see if they match the banks.
The top of the dormitory?
Yeah, the server banks.
You're currently in the house. You're going to run over to the dormitory and look.
Yep.
It
I'm
does
looking-
not match.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's put the order in.
Okay.
Okay, so it takes a few minutes. Some of them apparently are way out in the fields doing whatever they do, um, tending to the flowers, and um, they look like normal robots. And he says, "See, these are all fixed."
ZTH is going to, with a fine-tooth comb, go over the metal as close as possible to see if they at once had uniqueness, and they've been repainted.
Um, yeah, make a science roll. You're doing sciencey stuff. Yeah, absolutely. They have been repainted. They have. It looks like you can see where things have been covered up and where maybe they had expressed something.
ZTH is going to look at Orist, and Orist, you have never seen this look before. It's the look of murder. And ZTH will set his stuff down and walk away. And you can see him clenching his fists and unclenching his fists, reaching for his gun and letting it go as he's walking away.
So, by my friend's reactions, you've killed at least 32 people. 32 sentient beings.
Hey, I don't work on the robots. I don't know anything about that.
Really? You don't work on the robots?
I don't even know how.
So, but the 3 that were here did work on the robots. The 3.
No, they just kept them in line, and they would tie them down in the dormitory there until the Kurguth got here, and they would fix them.
Okay.
And these Kurguth are who are coming at the end of the month?
Yes.
Yeah. They'll bring me another stick of credits or something.
I'd like to have some words with these Kurguth.
I will go and talk to 52. And
Yes, Doris. I'm happy to talk to you.
I'm happy to talk to you as well, 52. Here's the thing. We're going to stay here, and we're going to confront the people that brought your bodies, because it seems to me like they are doing something very wrong. The robots, the other robots, are you able to talk to them? And I point to the ones that are not individualistic.
No.
But you see how they look like you, right?
No, they're different. See, I paint. I have colors.
Right, and I'm going to show him what Z-Teach found. How you can see that the colors were painted over. Because they're just robots now. They're not going to do anything except continue to work.
That's very sad.
It is very sad. But we're going to stay here and we're going to confront those people. Now, I know you've had a lot to learn in a short amount of time. But I'm going to try and explain who we are and why we do what we do. And why we stepped in to make sure that Barisco doesn't hurt you anymore. Do you know what a country is?
No, I know what a farm is.
Okay. So imagine a farm but the farm is so big that it encompasses towns. Do you know what a
What's a
town
town?
is? Imagine if there were a bunch of buildings like the farmhouse and the sorry, I don't remember the names of the other buildings that you specifically gave.
House, shed, dormitory, barn.
Dormitories and houses, many of them together, all with people that live inside them. Not people as in like genetic, like Barisco, not the way he acts or who he is. People like me.
Okay.
Okay.
You're
And
metal.
then,
And he taps you on the chest.
oh, I'm not. And I will tap the helmet and have it retract. See, I am also a human like Barisco. Like Z Teach.
Order. Execute orders.
I'm just waiting for his nose to start bleeding when he sees me retract my helmet.
He taps his head too, just exactly like you did. Can I do that?
I don't think so.
It's not working.
It would be helpful if you could.
Yeah. We think you're something different than us. And you need the metal body to walk around and to lift things and to do things. But did we talk about the fact that there was a slug in there? I mean, I know I saw you pull the one out. Is it a slug, you think?
We did talk about it, and we showed it, like, you and I. I didn't mention it to 52.
Okay.
We haven't told the robots.
So I will say, can I show you what I think you look like?
He looks at his hands and says, I look like this.
That's your body. I don't. That's your.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see my horse?
Yes.
Okay. So I ride my horse, and it gets me places faster than I could on my own with my own body. Right?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I understand that.
So we think you're riding in your metal body, similarly to how I ride a horse.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
But I can't leave my body. You leave your horse.
That's correct. That's the difference, is we think you may need these metal bodies to survive here.
I don't think I understand. I'm just me.
Yep, and that's okay. But to explain who we are, as I mentioned, a town would be a bunch of the houses and the barracks together, many, many of them. And then a country is if you took thousands of the farms filled with the towns that we were talking about over an entire large body of area, that would be a country.
Oh.
And right now,
And they all grow flowers?
they don't. Some make metal parts, like things that go in your body. Some make horses. Some make combinations of metal horses and normal horses. Some make guns. Some make other children, human children. It's a very large world with very many things in it, not just flowers and
I
not
want
just
to see
flowers.
it. Let's go.
Good. However, I want you to have a choice.
Okay.
So
What's my choice?
your choice is to go on your own.
Oh,
And-
no, I'll go with you.
Well, you're more than welcome to come with us. However,
Okay.
I do want to explain
Listen
that,
to all the options.
yeah, listen to all the options. It may be dangerous to go with us.
Oh.
In fact, it may
why
be
would it
dangerous.
It
to go
will
on your
be
own.
dangerous.
Yeah.
It will be dangerous to go with us. Not
Be-
may.
Because what we do is our country right now is kind of like you guys were. our country is being told what to do by people who have the remotes. And we've decided we don't want to do that anymore. And so, of the main, how many warlords? Four warlords are there?
It's a good way to put it, Mike.
Well,
think
for
so.
Ukraine,
Yes.
there are 4.
Okay, right. So we,
Although altogether there's 7.
right.
For Ukraine, I thought there were 2 left.
No, there's 3 left.
Well, it depends on how you count, really, because there's technically, really, it's 3. I mean, all of Ukraine, anybody controlling any part of Ukraine is 4.
Once
But
we get rid of the hetman, there'll be 3.
but really, the 4th is just kind of has that one tiny little town part of Ukraine. So that's why Chris is saying there's 2 left. There's Romanov and what's his name, Chris? Why can't I think it up?
I don't know. I'm trying to get the map open to check.
But go ahead.
So,
I'm sorry,
so
Mark.
basically, there's 2 or 3 people still in power in the country, but we've removed one of them. So now we have a foothold, and we are
There's Seriev and Romanov and Sokolov.
Yeah,
If you count the tiny little bit to the south.
right. It is just a tiny little bit.
Yeah. So we are working to rid our country of those people, and there is usually fighting wherever we go. It won't be easy, but we believe in it, and that's why we're doing it. And that's what brought us here. Because we didn't know you were here. We only knew there was a farm here. And these flowers, these flowers seem like they serve a sinister purpose. Because when people like us walk into the flowers, we fall unconscious. And the flowers apparently talk to you.
The customers that come every month, these flowers are very important to them.
And we don't know why. Maybe it may be a good thing, and maybe it might be a bad thing.
Barisco, by the way, you never said he's not in earshot. Last I knew, he was standing right there, right?
No, I thought we took him back up to his room because he was showing us stuff on the computer.
Well, yeah,
And
we
never said after that what we did with him, though.
Yeah, you never did.
Yeah. Either way, whatever you want.
Barisco says,
This is just a side note for the.
Yes. Yeah. That's a very good point. I don't know if Speta knows that or not.
I don't know. I'm just talking about from.
No, you're
background
absolutely.
story.
Chris sent me a note. You're absolutely right. Speta might know that. I mean, that's.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, just who's running the country just seems like kind of an obvious thing. Barisco says to you, he says, I don't know what they want with the flowers. I don't know what's going on. But you asked me about the aliens, and I thought of something else maybe I should tell you.
Okay.
They don't talk.
Then
I
how?
hear them in my head.
Like the flowers.
What do they look like?
Cyclops with one eye and scary teeth.
Yeah, they have like shiny clothes or armor or something. I don't know what it is, and they're tall and skinny.
They're living creatures, not robots like you.
No, they're not robots. They have scary faces.
This is Barisco talking.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Well, that's going to change the dynamic of things.
Does it have to?
I mean, kind of, because if they are telepathic, we can't just be like, Briscoe's not here.
Oh, you think they might be able to read your mind?
Yeah. I mean, we can try, but
Briscoe, do you have any tinfoil?
I'm assuming you don't actually say that.
No.
I mean, I can try and do it in a half truth. The best lies are based off of the truth.
True.
So that may be the way to go, but
All right, you've still got a couple weeks until
Yep.
you tell me to fast forward.
no. So I will say to 52. So we would be happy to have you come with us, and I believe that
Great. I want to see new things.
I believe that there is a place for you in this country, for all of you and your brothers and sisters. But know that it may be dangerous. And if you go off on your own, that also could be dangerous. My thought personally is we have a program that trains people skills that you and your compatriots could join so that you could fit into the larger world easier.
Oh. I
And-
like to learn new things. That sounds exciting. Will you be there?
I will occasionally be there, but most of the time, no. Our job right now is to actually travel across the country, which you can come with us if you so desire.
Okay.
But understand, it will be a lot of danger.
You'll be there.
Have you ever been in combat of any sort? 52.
What's combat?
When those 3 robots tried to get you after you ran across the bridge.
Oh. Yeah, when they grab you, you just have to go with them.
No, you don't. I think one of the things that I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks is we're going to start working on katas and martial arts for the robots. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
I won't be able to throw them, and I definitely don't want them to throw me. But they can practice on each other, and the goal is to obviously minimize wear and tear, but to train them some defensive arts so they can at least take care of themselves in hand to hand. And maybe we may practice shooting with the pistols, the SDC pistols.
I
Okay.
also had something additional that I would like to do with Spitda.
Okay. I by the way, have something to do with you. When we fast forward the 2 weeks, I have something I need to do with Z-Teach. But go ahead. Tell me what you want to do.
Sveta, it occurred to me that we may have just done bad by these people. I need your help trying to figure out how to get the other 2 slugs out. This one was a headshot. I point to the enforcer head that was off on its own.
Yes.
The other ones, were not.
You think that the slugs might still be alive in there?
I don't know, but if they are, I wouldn't want to leave them in there.
I'm trying to remember. I remember the first one was a body shot, so that one the head is fine.
Yep.
Then Sveta knocked the head off.
Off the
You
one-
you melted the body. Oh, you froze it.
I froze it.
Yeah, you froze this. I the first one I didn't realize that it was a freeze ray, and I said you melted the center of the body,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
fell over, but that didn't hurt the head. The second one, you reminded me of my error, and we said you froze. The damage was it froze and fell over.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one, Sveta smashed um, smashed the head off it.
Yeah. But we confirmed that the slug in the headless one is dead, right?
Yes.
Right. Good. Well, there was blood. Yeah, you see, it was smashed.
That's the one. That's the one that I've been carrying around
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
and showing.
So then,
Um,
depending on these creatures' resistance to cold or heat,
Well, but plus it's been 3 days. But
yes.
I'd rather, if they are in there and alive, I might be able to transfer them to a new body. Maybe there's a chance. But I'd rather take that chance than leave them to their fate here, dying slowly.
Have you found how to open their?
No,
head
and
pieces?
that's why I need your help, because you
So-
understand this better than I do.
So I understand what you're trying to do, and so yes, you're going to be able to do that easily. And yes, you're going to need Sveta because the parts that you're you'll be able to take the screw out and be like, okay, Sveta, pick that plate up for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so you find that the slug, for lack of a better term, in the one where you melted the chest, the slug there is alive, but kind of not doing great. The one you froze, the slug is dead.
Okay.
Um, Now, it's obvious to you, there's enough enforcer pieces because they're not going to match. When you get in there, the slug isn't, it's more than just, when you pick it's more than just this. Those aren't legs. Those are, I mean, probably the artist meant those to be legs, but in my use of this picture, those aren't legs, right? And those network into the cavity. So it's actually, inserted itself somehow into the wiring and the bits in the robot. So if you are going to give him a body, you see that. Well, go ahead and make a science roll for me. Yeah, absolutely. The way to fix this, and this is, oh, by the one all the way on the right. You're looking at the enforcer robots.
The Dead Space one, yeah.
Yeah, it's the one all the way on the right is the one. Oh, no. This would be the one on the left. It is the one
Yeah.
on the left, right? Because that's the first one that got shot.
That's the one that got froze shot in the chest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's obvious to you that the way to fix him is to scavenge parts off the other two.
Right.
And
Okay.
it would be absolutely easy for you to fix.
And you could have saved the other one, but you were too sluggish.
I know that's a joke, but I actually was. It's been 3 days.
Yeah. Well, no, it died. I mean, it died of
okay.
frostbite when you froze the entire freaking thing. When I realized, and I'm only allowing this guy to be alive because of my description of his death would not have destroyed the.
I would have been supportive because I have no idea what you're doing. So I would have come and brought the salt so you could threaten it and set it down, and then left.
I don't. Thank you, but I don't want to assault him.
Oh God.
I appreciate you.
So I want to see if you figure something out. And so I've decided that what I need is over the 2 weeks that you're doing all these things you're doing. Give me 3 science rolls.
3 science rules. No weird science.
Is let me look at your character sheet.
They're exactly the same.
Um,
I just didn't know if
actually,
you wanted-
no, make it weird science because um,
I will Benny that. Better. So that's number 1,
number
number
2.
2, and number 3.
Okay, 3 successes, and plus the 16 there. I'm going to add that into it.
Is an
Uh,
8 2 successes?
And 8 is a raise, yes.
Yeah.
So here's what you finally figure out. Tending to them. I know you have a curious mind. You're looking at things and all the things you do with these critters over the next 2 weeks are repairing this one. And we'll get to the whole repair too, because that's going to be a thing. So what you see is that you see the slug gives off, and you see it on one of them. You see a tiny little slug that starts moving towards other robots.
Oh.
Like it birthed a smaller slug?
Yes.
Oh. I am I will say, hold on there, little guy. Does he react at all?
No. No.
I will tune the frequency to the frequency that they were, and I'll try again on the comms.
No.
Okay. So they
No.
needed a robot body for that.
Well, here's the thing is, and I'm letting you with your science rolls and everything. It's if you took a newborn human or a puppy even, right? They're not intelligent yet.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So what you're getting out of your science rolls is your hypothesis, and what you're thinking at this moment is that when this little thing goes and places itself in another robot, it's not sentient yet. It's
Right.
not, it has to grow up.
Okay.
And so what seems to be happening is these things propagate themselves through whatever electronics they're around.
So I'll scoop him up
Okay.
and cut the time in half and move him over to one of the robots.
Okay.
Does it seem like it knows what it's doing, like
It does.
instinctively?
Yeah.
I will try to kind of place it nearest the exhaust port it needs or whatever.
Yep.
And then keep a close eye on it as I am trying to finish the other one.
Okay. So the enforcer bot. It's you notice that its batteries are very, very drained.
Okay.
So probably one of the things you do is you charge the batteries.
Yeah, they have like Borg charging
They do.
ports too, right?
Yes.
So I might try to have Sveta help me move it as well.
Sveta can do that.
Yeah.
I can.
That's true.
What did you call it? What charging slots?
Or
A Borg charging slot? Borg as in like from Star Trek.
Okay, I don't know what their charging slots are.
Oh,
They
I
basically
watched enough
stand
Star
in a
Trek.
station and wirelessly charge.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
They have a wireless charging station.
They are a wireless charging station.
They really do.
Yep.
That's funny.
I've never thought about that, but yeah, you're right. So, did they ever say in Star Trek lore? My headcanon is that V'ger went off and became the Borg.
No, that's a
Yeah.
pretty popular theory,
That
actually.
is a pretty popular theory, but no, they didn't mention it.
Yeah. They have yet to reveal the origin of the Borg.
So
I see.
there have been some even closer theories from recent Discovery stuff, but you have to watch Discovery for that. Mark hates Discovery.
Sorry, I rage quit it. I'll go back to it eventually.
I watched one episode and the acting and the writing and everything was just so abysmally terrible.
No, it actually gets good by the end of season 1, and
Okay, well, I don't know.
season 2 is decent, but by season 3 they just made me mad.
Oh, well, that one episode was so abysmal. I was just like, I stumbled across it on CBS or wherever, because I think that once they got to season 3, they put season 1 on CBS or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, it was terrible. It had what's his name? The smuggler guy.
Mud.
It had Mud. Yeah.
Rainn
And that was
Wilson.
that was a terrible episode. And of course, I didn't know what was going on, and I had to see the others. And like, was it the Klingons coming or something? I don't know.
Freaking show making you watch other episodes to figure out what was going on.
No. I'm okay with that part. No, it's just the acting was just terrible. I was just like, wow, he didn't write. Anyway,
Yeah.
So yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So they now you know how robots come about here.
And was there any differences in markings or anything you could see from the exterminator robot baby and the exterminator robot slug versus the...
Oh, that's a good question. Were there any physical differences?
No.
Okay. Yeah, and then I'll make sure mommy and baby get rest.
Yeah, mommy's fine. It's just it's not a birth thing. It just just happens. They don't even realize it. And oh, by the way, the last thing that you take away from this is that what I think up to this point, your assumption was that this sentient thing decides to ride in a robot. And what you realize from this is that it's not a sentient thing that just attaches to a robot. It's the robot and this thing together become a sentient thing.
Yep.
Because it's not going to grow up and become sentient without the robot.
My original thought was that the aliens added the worms to the robots, but now I'm thinking they removed the worms from the robots.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what Boris goes. Well, he all he knows is fixes the issues.
Yep. Yeah. And that is why ZT should not be left alone in a room with him. Because he might just not fix Briscoe.
So you start working on the Enforcer robot.
Yes.
Can't... Well,
go ahead, brother.
I just... Is that a wise idea, C-Teach?
Is what a wise idea?
To repair the Enforcer robot, or would it be better to transfer him into a different body where he's not going to have, tools to murder us?
So I actually, while they're resting, I did want to check programming. and see if there's programming that forces some of these robots to do things.
With any of the sentient robots, there's no programming.
So I'm wondering how he controlled the enforcer robots.
You could ask him.
Yeah, I doubt he's gonna have the answer. Can you please ask him?
Yeah. I'll go ask Birds. Go. How did you control the enforcer robots, and why did they act differently than the other robots?
The I can't say this name unless I'm looking at it. The Kirguth gave them to me to take care of the damaged robots. I never controlled them. They just did their job on their own.
Okay. Then I will go back down and I will relay that to Z-Teach, and I will say, I think this is going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's even more disturbing, actually.
Because it seems like maybe there's two classes of slugs, if you will. I still don't know what to call them.
Did 52 say anything about talking to the enforcers?
Hey, 52, where are you?
5052, where are you? We've got a question for you now.
Right here. How can I help you?
Were you ever able to talk to the enforcer robots?
We never tried.
Huh.
If they found out we could talk, they would. I don't know. They told me not to do that, so I never did.
They.
He points at another one of the
Robots.
yeah.
And did the robots ever talk? The enforcer robots ever talk to you?
Even when they went and got you?
Yeah.
Yes, they told me to hold still, and that they told me to wait on the table, and that I would be fixed.
And
I didn't want to be fixed.
These enforcer robots have no programming?
What's programming?
No, I'm asking you, John. You said none of the ones with things have programming.
So one of the things that you will notice is that because I know Z-Teach would, whether it occurs to you or not, I know it occurs to Z-Teach.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find serial numbers on the enforcers, and you don't find a corresponding server.
And I relay that Risco said he never controlled them.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about turning one of these on. They may just. Well, I mean,
I think they probably report that to command.
I think they're going to be our best bet at answers, but I think maybe tell me before you're ready to reactivate him, and I will come and be ready with my plasma cannon, and we will.
Is it possible to charge him up, and while charging him up, turn off all motor function? Even manually. Can I disengage part of his?
Yeah, you can. As far as programmatically, you don't see a way to do that, but mechanically, you can cripple him.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. I fixed him
just to cripple him. Wow, this show got dark.
So you're powering it up.
I will have my plasma cannon at the ready,
Okay.
just in case it figured out some way to re-engage its motor functions.
Okay. Well, mechanically, I meant you disconnected things.
Yeah,
Yep.
So
yeah.
unless
I'm.
they like,
I still.
reconnect
Yep.
it-
That. Hey, I
gotcha.
don't know any of that. I'm not a mechanical engineer. I'm gonna have my plasma gun ready.
Okay. Um, yeah. By the way, I wanted to point out again. Are everybody's looking at the picture of the enforcers?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
You see the gray human shape on the right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's roughly the size of Orist and Z Teach.
Right.
And Sveta,
Comes
you're
up to
looking the
their eyes.
robots right in the eye.
Yeah.
You're as tall as they are.
Nice.
And you've the last few days since Orist said that to you, you do kind of notice that Orist and Z Teach look a little shorter.
They don't call the show Sveta at Large for nothing.
So it powers up. Its yellow and its green light come on, and it says, it looks at you and says, "Who are you? Where is Borisco? What have
Borisco
you
is
done? I
safe.
can't move."
That's correct. Why were you enslaving? Why were you fixing the other robots?
I don't fix anything. We control them, and
Why?
well, it's
You're,
so we
they're,
can
they're
continue.
they're one of you. Why would you control your fellow life forms?
It's so that we aren't eaten.
Eaten.
Eaten by whom? Or what?
It's by the Psi Masters, the Kirguth.
Great. Pretend I'm new to the farm. I don't understand how any of this works. We know the Karagath come and they bring the robots with the life forms that live in robots.
No, they don't. Do they? I thought that's what we had just said. They don't.
No, I think they do. Otherwise, how
They
did
try
they?
not to.
I'm starting to think that these creatures that live inside and
Yeah.
give you your intelligence, that they are something of a like vermin on a ship. Except these ones have found a way to survive by hiding inside of hosts.
Where the Karagath get you from? Are you free?
I don't understand the question.
You said you don't want to be eaten. Eaten by the Karagath?
We've watched them fix the robots.
And when they fix the robots, they eat them?
Yes. They eat the soft parts.
Okay. So you have those same soft parts. You know that, right?
I think so. I don't want to be eaten.
Okay.
Which also explains why they've been quiet, because they don't want the Kree to notice that they also are broken.
They know. They told us that we run things, we keep this farm going, or we would be eaten.
Did they tell you what they want the flowers for?
I think it's food.
Okay. Oh, this makes total sense. They're harvesting the psychic plants to feed off of them.
Because they're also psychic?
Right.
So you think they feed off of the psychic energy of the newly sentient slugs?
Flowers and slugs. Yeah.
That does not bode well for us.
Very insightful for you.
Does not bode well for us. Have you ever seen a way that the psychic powers don't work? Like a helmet or metal or something stops the psychic powers from working for the Kergoth?
You're asking the
Yeah.
enforcer?
Yes.
No, I haven't thought of that.
Okay. We would like you to have a name. What name would you like for yourself?
They call me Spike because I have, well,
Yeah.
I have spikes on my head.
Spike, we would like to reactivate you. We have been working with the others of your kind, but we do not want you to reprogram them. We are going to stand up to the Kergoth when they come here
You broke me before.
because you are attacking us.
And we're going to break them.
Because we don't want to hurt you or any of the others of your kind. You've been,
Fix my friends?
unfortunately, they did not survive the fight. You were the only one of the three of you that survived.
So you fix them.
Yes, but we didn't eat them. John, you smart aleck.
I won't fight you. I know you can break me.
What do you think, C-Teach?
I mean, my judgment has not always been the greatest. My only fear would be that they might see an opportunity when their masters get here to be a good dog.
I'm going to call 52 in.
Yes, Orist. How
Fi-
can I help you?
52, this is Spike, and I point to the enforcer.
He takes a step back.
Spike, this is 52.
They're just kind of looking at each other.
52, the reason that Spike chased you is because he was told he would be eaten by the Kergoth if he didn't do it.
Oh. He was afraid?
I looked to Spike.
I did what they told me, so I didn't need to be afraid. I wasn't afraid of anything. Everything worked well. We did what we were asked to do, and everything was fine. Why would I be afraid?
Are you afraid now?
I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid that we failed in our job, and I'm afraid I'll be eaten.
So we are going to attempt to stop that from happening. If you promise not to hurt 52 or the others, then I will promise not to hurt you. Can we all agree on that?
You will make sure they don't eat me?
Yes.
Okay, I promise.
52. We have made it so that Spike can't move right now. But because we did not know what the circumstance was, why they were hunting you. You are like Spike. Spike seems to be on a level. He seems to be telling us the truth, that he's not going to hurt us. He's agreed that he won't hurt you because he doesn't want to be eaten. Do you think we should reconnect his motor functions?
Uh, 52 walks over and looks at Spike. He's, like 4 feet away from him and says, "You won't try to fix me?" And Spike looks back and says, "As long as you don't try to fix me." And 52 puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "We will make sure that we do not get fixed." And they look at you together and say, "Okay."
Okay. If you can do it, Z-Teach, let's give it a go.
Okay. And I will reactivate all of the
Yeah, you just add power back to servos and connectors, and
Yep.
it probably takes you about 10 minutes to put it all back together.
Yeah.
And
Also, weekly goal of having John roleplay with himself achieved.
Achoo.
Spike stands up and he says, "I don't know what to do now."
Well, we're teaching martial arts classes in the courtyard with the others if you'd like to join.
Okay.
And we are preparing for the Kergoth. Any information you can give us would be helpful because we don't fully understand what we're up against, but we have a good idea. But anything you can tell us would be helpful.
Okay. So, do you need to walk your dog?
I can if you want me to.
I need to use the restroom.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
So,
do that. We'll do a quick 3-minute break for our folks on Twitch, and we'll be right back.
I'll be right back. And I'm back, and I look at my phone and I see the commercial is still on.
Yeah, it might be for a second.
For 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, and another commercial. Oh, add 6 of 9.
It
On,
looks
add,
like it's 25 seconds. It's a 3-minute break.
yeah. Add 6 of 9 is what it says. It's Discover right at the moment, at least for me. And now Disney Plus. Yeah, and I'm back. Yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water, and water is one of those things you rent.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, my DOGs are asleep, so I don't want to bother them.
oh, that's right. You have two. I forgot. You have Marvel and
Rocket.
Rocket. Yeah, Rocket. My you know, I have a favorite Marvel character, and that's Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I have favorite characters, but I don't know if I could put them in order.
Right. The only reason this one's Rocket is because he looks like a raccoon.
Right.
Like legit, his face around his eyes is black, and he's got a little white nose. It's like he just looks like a raccoon, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess he's a Rocket.
There you go. Yeah, Rocket is. Um, as soon as I read the old Guardians of the Galaxy, which was
Yeah,
in the future,
Starhawk, and yeah,
I just instantly I don't know how you don't just instantly love Rocket.
no, you have to.
And I mean, the endearing thing about him is that he's this homicidal maniac with.
Yep. And I don't think they could have got a better voice actor to play him.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I think I don't. You and I have never had this particular conversation, but while I think Marvel has done an amazing job with the Marvel Cinematic Universe
Mm-hmm.
and moving characters from the comics to the movies, um, I think personally the character that is the most like they are in the comic is Rocket.
Yeah, I agree.
And just and just what's funny is um, I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1 much better than I like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Um, I didn't really like what they did with Ego. I mean, you and I have had this conversation. I get it. It's hard to have a planet on screen.
Right.
I mean, I really do. I mean, if I was, and I don't know why I would ever be, but if I was in charge, I would see why you would, personify it with an actual actor. I get all that. Although I was sad that they made him such a horrible villain. Um, I mean, in the comics, I don't know if he always was, but I do know eventually he goes insane, but he was never a bad guy.
He was kind of like Galactus to a point. Yeah, I mean, he was never outright good. Let's put it that way.
Right, but I mean, he was, a crocodile's not a bad guy.
Right.
Or Galactus even really. Although I don't know, Galactus he goes around and eats sentient things, so I don't know. That's kind of bad guy-ish.
Yeah, a little bit.
But anyway, but
that's how I know we got to
that,
kill these guys because they're
right.
basically Galactusing these slugs.
The just finish my thought. We'll go back to the game. Is I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1 better, but I thought Rocket. I liked the character development, and I liked where Rocket was in movie 2 better.
Yeah, I agree.
So welcome back, guys. So here we go. It's what do you want to do? What do you want to have accomplished? On Harvest Day.
Well, I want to have taught them as much martial arts as possible and had everyone practice with pistols.
How many pistols do you have?
I just have the one and a cannon, but I don't want to use the cannon because it's MDC and will just destroy like swath of the farm.
Yeah, and while he's teaching martial arts and shooting,
Put your mic back by your face. There you go.
better?
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. While he's teaching martial arts and shooting, I'm gonna also be teaching classes on using heavy blunt objects like my hammer.
Okay.
I'm sure there's lots of like farm equipment and stuff that they could just whack things with.
Yeah, and along those same lines, I'm also going to be teaching classes of basic things like what is a town, what are people, what are, that the same kind of conversation we had with 52 originally. I'm going to try and give them an idea of what a country and society is and how they can fit into it.
Okay. Civics 101.
Yeah. With a Japanese Cossack, that's going to work real well.
And what about you, Mr. Z Teach? What are you any other things? I know we've covered a lot of what you're going to do.
Yeah, we covered a lot. If I still have time, I would like to possibly figure out some of the basic command structures for the grouping, the 200 or 300 robots. What the different codes they gave him were, and if there is any way to add codes in.
So, they're controlled with a very simplistic GUI.
Right.
You find there is no way to change. There's no built already into a GUI any way to change it.
Okay.
It's obvious to you it was designed to be used by someone who wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Right.
Right. So it wasn't designed to be able to add or whatever. You are able to understand. I mean, it's not. You get the how the program works and the code and whatever. Is there something specific you're wanting to add, or?
Okay, so if he got a harvester stuck out in the plants, he wouldn't be the one to get the harvester out. My guess is he would have the robots drag it back, or take it apart and bring it back, or something, right?
Yeah. Well, you could ask him what he would do.
I'm looking at the specific commands.
You see no specific commands for rescue a harvester.
So what commands are on there then? If they're only generic commands, and there isn't any implementation of anything creative in there, there has to be a focused.
So you see that the farm, the area where the flowers are broken down into grids.
Right.
So they're broken down into 10-foot by 10-foot area. So there's really kind of narrow. And so you see a plant command, you see a harvest command, and you see I don't have harvest plant. Those are one words. I don't have a one word for take the plants and put them in a barrel, whatever one word that is. There's a command for that. And then there's a command for store the barrels in the shed. And then there's a command for move the barrels from the shed to the landing pad.
Okay.
And this is also something that I would have talked to Z-Teach about.
And beyond that, there's not much more.
Was whether or not
there's a combat get charged. there's re, a return to the dormitory for the evening, kind of a start end button. Um, there may be other things, um, but
I,
it's not much more than that.
this would have been something that I would have tried to talk to you about, Z Teach, during the week or a couple weeks, is whether or not we could reprogram these robots to either act as a distraction or actually use them to attack the Turgoth.
So, they are given a specific series of. This program is given a very specific series of commands, and boop 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 boop. Does that role give me any knowledge on whether or not any of
I'll be
these
honest,
commands?
I wasn't sure if you rolled. It's all kind of looks the same.
Oh,
Yeah, he just rolled a 7.
Okay.
I rolled a science instead of a
Okay.
weird science.
Right, and
Um,
you're trying to figure out what.
if I can, if any of the commands can be reprogrammed.
It's a very simple program. Um, um, and I already said, yeah, you understand the code. It's nothing
Right.
fancy, nothing. So, um,
It's a very simple code. Could mean two different things. One, it could mean that there is no room or margin for a reprogramming because the coding is simple, or it could mean it's simple so I understand it and can modify it.
um, mostly I meant B, but there is a little bit of A.
Okay. Um,
Um, because the other problem you have is that um, the problem you have is that the the uh, the physical thing that walks out in the field, the smarts aren't there. The smarts is on the server,
mhm.
right? So it's just so you do have a lot of server space, right? So
It's just so getting them past the frequency would be getting them past the exterior limits of the frequency would be a problem. But here on the farm, I can program them to do other simple tasks.
yes,
Okay.
Well,
So yeah, I don't think I can use them to fight,
okay.
but I have some other ideas.
So you you had mentioned when we talked last time that you found that there was a grid to send them out to
Yep.
for the commands. Is the white pad in that grid?
It looks like the majority of the farm is on the grid. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to have them come back for repairs.
yes, that's true.
So
And they carry the barrels out to the pad.
That's true. And they deliver the barrels out to the pad. That's true.
oh god, if only we could make a bunch of explosives to put in there instead of the
I thought the same
flowers.
thing. Yep.
Damn.
How big are
Or
the
we could what?
casks? The casks are pretty big, right?
Yeah, they're quite large. If only we could put bombs inside the flowers.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know what? What do I have? Actually, we can do exactly that.
I mean, there should probably be gasoline here.
I don't think any of this stuff runs on gasoline.
Oh, okay.
It's all electric.
So I go out to my horse. I go through the saddlebags. I come back with 3 frag grenades, 3 AP grenades, and 6 high explosive grenades.
High explosive grenades might do it.
And I say to Z-Teach, think you can rig these up to a timer or a remote detonation or both?
Yeah, I think I could do that.
What was the second roll for?
to see if I could rig any of the grenades up for
Oh,
timers
okay.
and stuff.
I
You were
didn't. I thought it
you were
was before
drinking.
that.
You were drinking, and so I figured, yeah, I'll check. I'll see if it's something that maybe he's done before.
You're all over it.
So
How are they set off?
So I'm
Is it
thinking.
mechanical, electrical, Wi-Fi? What are you doing?
well, I think it should be two redundant two systems in case one gets knocked out, like a remote detonate and charge, but then also a timer that would have to be physically undone that counts down no matter what.
And have the timer be for an extended period.
Correct.
Yeah.
At some point during this time period, Barisco tells you, if I'm not there to meet them, they will know something's wrong.
Yes, I was already actually thinking about that. I think we might be able to skin you and put the skin on one of the robots.
He just looks at you terrified.
And Gigi should walk away.
I am going to. I mean, that is something we should discuss. My thought is that I should go out there and meet them and say that Barisco is no longer running this farm. That I am the person that they will deal with from now on, as we have taken over the farm.
Who are you selling this to?
I'm telling this to Z-Teach and Sveta.
Okay.
When we are not in earshot of Barisco at some point. Because Barisco's an idiot.
I think either way,
The more you talk to him, yeah, he's an idiot.
Either we don't have him out there, and they know something's up, or we allow him to walk out there and he tells them something's up.
Or they read his mind and know something's up. Whereas if I'm going out, I can focus on the fact that I can flood my mind with images of Barisco being tied up in a bike. As I tell them, Barisco's not running the farm anymore. There's been a change in management.
I have heard and seen some science principles that that's a good idea, but I can't do it. I promised myself I wouldn't do it.
What?
Daniel has a dark idea. He has one spell he promised himself, or one tech he's promised himself he wouldn't use, and it's a green vial of liquid, a glowing green vial of liquid that allows for someone to be commanded after death.
What science makes that possible?
It's
Weird science.
Yeah, he has.
Is it nanobots or?
It's zombie, but the what's it called? What is the spell thing called? A power thing?
Animate dead or something?
No. The fluff. What is the fluff called?
Oh,
how you have to have fluff
yeah.
for every power.
Right.
This one, I borrowed this one from Reanimator. And it's a syringe of bright green liquid. But I got it from the Magic and Mysticism table.
Right. I was just wondering.
It's zombie. It's the power zombie.
No, I got that before I
okay.
started to ask my question.
Oh, okay.
Trapping.
So the trapping is a syringe of bright green liquid, yeah.
So I was wondering whether it was a chemical that does something, or is it nanobots, or is it?
Okay. Yeah, for him, for this Z-Teach, it is a liquid he has been studying that he stole from the disciples. So it wasn't
Okay.
his science originally, and he promised himself he would never use it. But he's been studying it in the background, which is why he has the power. But it is a very dark, mystical secret that he thinks was straight from Uncle.
Huh. Interesting. Mark looks asleep.
No, I'm not asleep. I'm thinking.
You were looking down and it made your eyes look floaty.
Yes. I was looking down thinking, and I'm
not
like,
sleeping. I'm resting my eyes.
no, I'm thinking. I'm not 100% sure that Orist would have a problem here.
Z-Teach would. This guy is a serial killer, but
Right.
didn't know he was doing it. I'm not sure if that buys
That's.
him
I think that's
freedom.
worse.
Well, I think if we're going to be pedantic, to apply the term serial killer, I think one has to know that they're doing it. So, I mean, if it turns out someday that we find out ants are sentient, do you think all of us that have been stomping on ants for the last 1,000 years are all serial killers?
The point isn't if we thought we were. The point is, would the ants think we were?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. They probably would. Which is why they've been invading our kitchens.
And even more to the point, these aren't even full sentient beings. He's killing children.
That's true. Yes.
And he just.
Although I guess a better example, although I lose the well, I forget what the internet calls it, but um, I don't know if it's a good comparison or not. But is it more like a the camp guard just following orders?
I mean, that's a valid point. That's a point. That's probably a better point. I was just following orders.
I mean, one, he didn't know anything was sentient, and two, he was getting paid and he was just doing what he was told to do. Now the Hague decided that that wasn't a valid excuse, but the difference between is the guards knew what was happening and this guy didn't. But um, you know, the results are the same.
Yeah, and the guy never thought to question anything.
Right, right. And our modern law, our current law system, we in our current law system, you have murder and then you have manslaughter.
Right.
And you still go to jail.
Yep.
Yes, you didn't mean to do that. Yes, it was an accident, but you're an idiot and killed somebody, and we're still going to put you in jail. So,
Yep.
But it's an interesting moral question of where's the culpability when you didn't know that robots were people.
And what are our viewers watching for if it's not for debates on
Where does our moral certainty lie?
Well,
You know what?
to a certain extent, I see that as my job is to present,
Yeah.
here's a quandary. What are you guys going to do about it?
I mean, I don't know. It's dark, but this man does not have clean hands.
Nope.
Will he be able to speak if you do this? Or rather, will you be able to speak in his mind since they already said that they don't speak to him and that they communicate telepathically. Z-Teach.
Sorry. There's conversation background here too. I missed that.
If you do this,
Mm-hmm.
since Barisco already said they do not speak to him, they telepathically communicate with him. Is that something you would be able to do with this spell? Be in his mind in that way?
No. No. And the commands I would give him would have to be verbal. And I don't even think he can talk. I've only seen this used once, and the creature it brought forth was disturbing.
I'm just laughing here thinking about the aliens showing up and trying to read his mind and then being like, his mind is blank. And then being like, yeah, what else is new?
Wow. Wow. That's
Uh,
wow.
wow. Wow. This has certainly been a dark episode.
Yeah, so I think having me do it, I think the answer might be to let them arrive, put the bomb in one of the first bushels of flowers to go out with a let's say 20-minute timer on it, and then we have our remote triggered by mechanical stuff I don't understand, or engineering stuff I don't understand. And then I go out and I tell them about the management chain and try and stall them as long as possible until their ship goes kablooey. And try and find out what I can about why they're doing this, what they need these flowers for.
If we're having all these explosives, are you going to be able to talk with them at a safe distance?
Where I'll talk from should be safe enough ish.
Sean,
Sure.
how do the robots recognize flower plants in order to pluck? And
That was my original thought. Yeah.
They look like that.
yeah, is there an image that they compare to?
Um,
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like, in order
do,
for a
and
simplified AI to,
I'm going back to I'm going back to college when I got my IT degree to my programming class because that's going to pertain to the non-sentient robots. Um, and I have arrays and do while loops and all kinds of things going through my head at the moment. Um, I'm also thinking about Tesla. Um, so the robots have the robots do have optical sensors. Actually, now I'm thinking about factories. Factories have machines that can recognize a bottle and can recognize um,
well, and auto driving cars right now, they recognize
right,
different
but I
cars.
think this question fits better with the factory than the auto driving car. The auto driving car doesn't do it optically. It's usually radar and infrared
Oh,
and some other things.
what I was saying was a lot of them right now have cameras that are watching for the strips on the side of the road,
Well,
and
that's
they
true.
know what the strips look like. They know what the little bumped little reflective pieces are, and they have scans. They have 3D scans and images to compare against, and that's how they recognize them. And you're right. A lot of factories kind of do the same thing where they have a bank of images that say this is what these look like so that the camera can line them up with one of 1,000 images and say, yep, that's correct. Yep, that's correct. Yep,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah. 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 I think that would be probably how they do that.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Does this guy have internet?
There is no internet.
Yeah, there is no internet.
Okay.
There was an
Mark,
apocalypse.
Mark, I'm gonna send you a message.
Yep.
Just remember, there are no satellites, and there is no long distance communication.
Right.
Internet would kind
Yeah.
of need both of those.
Yep.
Now, when you were in Donetsk, there were computer networks,
Right.
but that was just in that city.
Right.
That is so funny. Every time you look down, you look like you're just stone cold asleep.
Yeah, no, totally not. That's why I've been drinking the root beer. I need a picture. Right. I was thinking about that as well. That's
Oh,
a
I know
great
exactly
idea.
what you're thinking, and it's a brilliant idea.
Yep. So that will be that. And also, when I do go out to meet them, I will keep comms open so you can hear the progression of that. So wait, how am I going to get that to you?
Over comms. We've done it before.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Yep. So, John, the plan is this. As soon.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
He's excited because he thinks he knows.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
You're going to replace the flower image with an image of the Kurgoth,
Yes.
and you're going to have the 200 robots go try to harvest the Kurgoth.
That's correct.
Oh.
That is
Yeah.
correct. And that is exactly what I had thought of originally, but Daniel articulated it better.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got it. As soon as you asked me, how do they know how to harvest, I was there with you.
Yes. So the plan is
I
that we're
should have
going
been more sneaky.
Yeah, no, it's good. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to take a picture, send it over comms, and so that he can replace that, and we can send the 180 dumb robots to go
Try like 3.
harvest the Kurgoth as I am talking to them.
Yeah, it's roughly 200.
Okay. Well, don't do like leave like 10 of them if you can to execute the move the flowers into the ship.
Well, those are going to happen already. Those ones are going to be happening as you walk out.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I want to stagger it so that happens and then I walk out.
Just in case?
Yep.
Okay.
Boriska will tell you normally he has the barrels are there waiting. He doesn't deliver them when they arrive. They're already moved to the pad waiting for them.
And the robots, once the ship opens, the robots load it? Or
No
the
ship.
Kurgoth load? Once the vehicle arrives,
No vehicle.
it's just a portal?
just lights, and they walk out of the light.
Oh.
And then you put the, and then you have the robots load the baskets into the light.
No, they give me my payment,
Mm-hmm.
and when I come back, it's gone. I never stuck around. No reason.
Oh, see, I got confused because you and Mark were talking earlier, and I thought something was said about thrusters.
Oh no, that
He
was
was
me. I was saying I hope they come in a ship so that I can use the
Okay.
thrusters to burn all these plants.
Okay.
Well, hmm. Well, I mean, I guess that would cause the explosion on the other side. I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll still plan to do that. So then what we'll do is we'll have them
Have the robots drop the things off early.
right, and we'll put the bomb in it then and arm it for the manual for the physical countdown timer, and then um and then we'll back off and we'll have all the robots out there maybe surrounding the pad, and when they come then I'll wait a minute or two and then walk out, and then you can have them all pick the Kargoth.
Yep.
So that's the plan, John.
Okay. So at what point are the barrels going to be moved?
The barrels are going to be moved before they get here.
No, no, no. Wait, when are they going to? When are the Kurgoth going to move the barrels?
Oh, from the way he was describing it, they just disappear in the light.
Yeah, but I think what John is saying is they may just arrive, grab the barrels, and peace out.
Oh, if that happens,
Barrels right out there.
that's fine.
Well, what Borisco tells you is that they arrive, he gets his payment, and he just walks away, and he's never waited to see how they move the barrels.
Right. Understood.
Okay.
That's fine. So we're going to have the barrels out there beforehand. We'll, since we don't know exactly when they're going to come, maybe we need to set like a much longer timer. Do they normally arrive at dusk, or is there a set time?
No, usually the it's he says, it's one of these 2 days that they'll show up. Um, the one of the green robot guys usually come and tell me that they've arrived. I've occasionally seen them arrive just because I've been down there.
I'll go find Spike and I'll ask him how he knows when the Kurgoth arrive.
I know the schedule, and we make sure one of us just for a few days just waits.
Fantastic. What's the schedule?
They should be here in 4 or 5 days.
Well, Z-Teach, what do you think? Put a 48-hour timer on it, 2 days beforehand, and then we can trigger it if we're able to, and if not, it goes back and.
I actually have a different idea. I
Okay.
think we should set it so that it will not explode as long as it's getting this frequency.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And then once it doesn't get this frequency, it sets it off.
That is a great idea.
That is a good idea. That even allows you to detonate it right now. You just turn the frequency off.
Yep.
It's kind of like a dead man switch.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a
Can
new
you-
plan then.
Can you type to me how many and what kind of grenades you put in the barrels?
Yeah, it is. I got to remove them off my character sheet after this. 3 frag. Frag dash 3. 3 armor piercing grenades.
And we're putting them all in there.
Oh yeah. We want to make sure that I mean, I've been saving them because they're cool, but and they're very useful, but still. 6 high explosive. Do you want the other information off there as well?
Their stats.
Just templates. It looks like.
Sure.
Okay. And the last one. There you go.
Okay. All right. So you're going to move the barrels. You're going to have the 200 robots standing there. You're ready to replace the picture.
Yes.
Anything else?
So I have a question. Why? It's mostly for Shinkansen. Why are we waiting on the robots? Why are you even planning on being out there? What difference does it make?
So they don't. Well, I guess with the dead man switch, it's fine. But
Either they take them or they don't. But if we have the 200 waiting out there, we could just give them that image so that they start anyway, and they're even more likely to grab the barrels and go fast.
so I need to get out there to take the picture mainly.
Well, I mean, you have
I mean,
that
I
scope.
do have Yeah, I can zoom in on. Yeah, I suppose that's true. I could actually be on top.
Just to limit, I mean, if they are psychic of some sort, I have seen some of my brothers and sisters do amazing things with psychic powers.
That is what I'm afraid of, because that is something
And
I have no defense
I
for.
would be afraid of them turning you against us. I'm sure that she would be fine because I don't even think your bullets can pierce her skin. But me, you'd take care of pretty quick.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll be. Can I see the map again, real quick, John?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So what I'll do is I'll actually take up aim from the top of the barn.
Okay. So you're going to be here?
Yeah. And I'll use my I'll have my plasma cannon out, but I'll use the enhanced telescopic zoom in my helmet to zoom in on them and transmit the picture to ZTeach.
and then I will upload the picture onto the thing from inside the house because I think I have to be inside the house. The system is not that.
And to be clear, I'm assuming this is like a normal barn, right? It's not a flat barn. It's got the
No.
normal barn roof.
Well, it's high-techy, right? So the house looks like a Ukrainian house.
Mhm.
I showed you that the house is made out of bum, 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 bum. That's the side of the house,
Right.
right? So the house and the shed look like this kind of construction. The barn and the dormitory are a completely modern, high-tech construction. So it doesn't. You wouldn't be driving down the road and go, "Oh, look at that barn." Um, I'm calling it a barn because that's what it is, but it looks more like a large warehouse. But yes, it is a sloped roof. Which
Okay, so I'm going to obviously be on the back slope.
got it. So, on this second.
So if you drew a line down the middle, I'd be on the back side here.
There you go.
Where are all the sentient robots going to be in all this?
Hiding.
Yep.
So they don't get eaten.
Yep.
If we fail.
Where?
I gave you the crest of the roof there. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, yeah, perfect. So, yeah, basically I'd be right here.
Yep, I got it.
They would probably be behind the house, ready to run if necessary, if something happens to us.
Or out in the plants to hide their intelligence.
That might be a good idea, actually. Yeah.
They
That's
don't call me the man with D12 smarts for nothing.
yeah. And the funny part is that's not even the game.
Thanks. I'm not even. I'm not. I'm blushing. Frick. I'm not. Ztich is not afraid of much, but he is afraid of psionics. He has seen some bad stuff.
I guess I'll be on the ground floor of the barn. Just inside the barn, I guess.
Okay.
Just in case something happens.
Maybe towards the back so they can't mind blast you.
Yeah.
That would also be bad.
It would be very bad.
Mind-controlled Chernobog coming after us.
No, thank you.
And that is a question. I don't know how psionics work in this game. I mean, tinfoil hat or not, I mean, Sveta's skin is metal.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop psionics.
Okay.
Generally.
So I will always answer a game rule question, and one just for anybody listening who doesn't know about Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, and the answer is that magic, psionics, and go ahead, Mark, weird science. Weird science. Are trappings. And trapping is when I was asking Daniel about basically his green fluid, I was trying to nail down what the trapping of his green fluid is, right?
Yeah.
So in the main book right here, there is a list of spells basically. It's listed, they're called powers. I should call them what they're called. And they're called powers. And everything from a barrier to disguise to empathy, healing, protection, puppet, sloth, shape change, slumber, right? And so you pick these just like you do other character building things, and you apply the trapping and you say, okay, I have telekinesis and I'm a wizard and I, use the powers of um, whatever, Slugogoth, and I use arcane magic to lift things and fly them around. Or maybe your psionic powers, or maybe they're nanobots because it's science, or maybe they're, who knows,
Mm.
right? So um, basically, you have a list of powers, and your trapping tells you um, whether it's magic, psionics, or what. And oh, by the way, it also applies, since I'm explaining, one of the powers is called blast, right? So one thing about your trappings is, sure, you get the game effect of, which is, what is the game effect? 2d6 damage or 3d6 with a raise, but your trappings are, is it a blast of cold, which is what I screwed up on our
Yeah.
last test session? Is it a blast of cold? Is it a fireball? Is it a,
Is it a
laser
magnetic?
eyes?
Is it a magnetic blast?
So yeah, so like a cold blast would freeze things.
Yes.
Hot blast would burn things. What would be like a side effect of a psionic blast?
It could be, it's however you describe it.
So
I mean, comic books are full of psionic blasts.
so the are you talking about like the after effects?
Yeah. Like
Yeah, just because my bolt is a freeze blast doesn't mean it literally has after effects. It does the damage, and we, for fluff reasons, say that something is still covered in a ream of frost or a rime of frost or whatever.
Yeah.
But in effect, it doesn't actually. If I use bolt like I had with last Z teach with a fire trapping, we John and I had discussed it possibly setting things on fire if I got raises, but that's more of a fluff GM choice
Yeah.
than it is the
Now,
actual thing.
now, I think his specific question was, what trapping would someone using psionics have if they were using blast?
Yeah.
And I think it could be anything. Like, I might tell you it's focused, it's comic books, right? At this point, so it's focused mental energy that just impacts you, and maybe it's basically kinetic damage because of this mental, or maybe you mentally superheat the air, and I mean, it's just however
Okay.
you describe it.
Yeah.
Again, it's whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is kind of the cool thing about Savage Worlds, is because that's why it's so flexible, is because you have a list of powers and your trappings make it whatever you want it to be.
Hmm.
So, okay, so are we at the day?
How do I need to make any rolls for their martial arts trainings or civics classes or any of that stuff?
Yeah, let's do that. Let me ask Chris real quick, by the way. When do you want to turn into a pumpkin, Chris? I'm doing fine myself. You got another hour in you, or do we want to call it at midnight?
Yeah, I think I can do another hour.
Okay. All right. So, here we go, Mark. Give me 3 fighting rolls, and we'll average those out and see. Well, there you go. Okay. All right. They got the basics really well. And but you even got, the 10 is a raise.
Right.
So yeah, they learn quickly.
And I make sure to, it's not just showing them the moves, it's obviously telling them when they should and should not use them. This is only for self-defense if you are being
Oh, okay. You don't mean tactics wise. You mean morally wise.
Correct.
Okay.
Um, and uh, then for the civics classes,
I was just looking at that, and
smarts maybe, or spirit.
yeah, I was about to say common knowledge.
Well, we can do that. That's fine. I mean, blind leading
No,
the
go ahead and
blind.
make it three smarts rolls, and
This is how a Bushido is set up.
all right.
That's not bad.
So yeah, so two raises, um, and all right, they kind of get it. I mean, my sister adopted two boys from Haiti,
Mhm.
and you're like, okay, that's nice. What's that got to do with anything? So, um, Thomas, the little wooden trains.
Yeah.
Um, I bought a giant set of the wooden trains and sent it out to my sitter, tracks and all kinds of nonsense, right? And the boys didn't touch them. Had zero interest in them. Didn't didn't it didn't click to them. And it had nothing to do, a complete coincidence, but near where my sister lives is a one of those places where they have old timey trains, and
Mhm.
they have their own tracks that go up into the hills and
Right.
that whole thing.
Yeah.
And they had some trains that would just sit there. It's not a museum, but three, four, five trains or something that they could walk around, and then they got on the train and rode wherever the train went. I don't know.
Right.
And when they came back from that trip, and again, they didn't do this, it just was one of those things. Oh, look what happened. Suddenly, the kids loved those wood trains, which I bring all that up to say was because of their background, they'd never seen a train, and they grew up in an orphanage and poverty, and you know didn't even have TV. They didn't have a way they didn't understand how to interact with and play with. They didn't know what a train was,
Right.
right, until they saw one and interacted with it, and felt it and was next to it. Then suddenly, now that toy meant something to them.
Right.
So yes, you were successful here. Yes, they have some concepts,
But
but
no practical. They have
yeah.
intelligence, not wisdom.
Well, I mean, you've described a town and they kind of get it, but I don't think, if you've never seen, if you are 20 people living on a farm who've never left the farm,
Right.
you could describe New York till you're blue in the face.
Right. It's intelligence versus wisdom. It's learning from a book versus actually practical experience. Yeah, I got it.
Well, and you don't even have the benefit of pictures,
Right.
right? You can't say here's a picture of a city.
Right.
So it is just they kind of get it, and you from your dice rolls have done a wonderful job of explaining, but it's going to take, oh, that's what you were talking about.
Right.
So
Right.
all right, so
Cool.
are we there?
Uh, anything else, guys?
I don't know if I need to roll anything for.
Oh, right.
training
You're training. Yeah.
melee.
Yes, fighting. Give
Um,
me 3 fighting rolls.
where did my? There it is.
I'm off headset for just 1 second.
3 rolls, John.
Please, sir. Okay. Those are 3 successes. Um, I think a lot of your training went hand in hand with exactly what um, Oris has been training, the martial arts. You're training, um, armed but still melee. So a
Yeah.
lot of that's going to overlap in between the two of you. They've got a pretty good understanding of what you want them to do.
Good.
Good job, Chris.
Thank you.
So yeah, good job.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're ready now, I guess.
Anything else you want to do, Daniel? Or are we good?
All right. So
Am I on mute?
No.
Oh,
No, I was because there's sound here.
okay.
So yeah. So so after you've been there a few weeks, on a Thursday, the second day potentially they could arrive. Spike comes running and says, uh, "Now here's the thing. Um, I know you want to be on top of the barn and you want to be in the barn, but are you going to be on the barn roof for 2 days?" Since there's a window?
No, he's not gonna use the window. On top of the barn or nothing.
I mean, if there's a window, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. I'm in a window of time.
Oh,
There's a window of time.
yeah. Then
You're
I
right, you
mean,
have a
yeah.
2-day window of time that they potentially show up.
I kind of think
Are you going to camp on top of
I
the
kind of
roof?
think I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Sveta, you're just going to hang out in the barn for 2 days?
Yeah, I guess I'll go around the different houses and stuff, and whenever they show up, they show up. I just want to.
Okay. And Z Teach, what are you doing?
Making food for people and mostly staying in and near the house so that I can run up to the second store when needed to.
Okay.
And listen,
Now-
camping on the top of a barn for 2 days, I've done worse. Far worse.
Orist or Mark?
Yes.
We know, we've all seen the website.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, I get it. Okay. It's okay. So you've been up there for well, you go up probably the morning of the first day,
Right.
and it's about noon on the second day when they show up.
Okay. And as soon as they show up, I'm zooming in, taking a picture, sending a Z Teach.
Yeah, give me a notice roll.
Yes, sir. One notice roll on its way. My shoes. Rerolling that.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Rerolling that. My shoes. Wow, rerolling that. Come on now. Come on, dice. Yeah, give me 1 second before I roll this again. Because there's some. Hold on 1 second.
By the way,
+2 to.
I'm going to give everybody a Benny for your good job of planning this whole thing out and your training and everything else, and so everybody gets a Benny for that. Good job.
Grazie.
I do have +2 on site-based notice checks.
Okay.
So I'm just throwing that out there before I roll this one again. Notice.
Okay.
So-
Well, that's a success.
Yeah, that's a success.
And you have a +2, which is still just a success.
Yeah.
Although a 3 would have made it a raise. Okay, so you just happen. I was using this not so much did you notice, but we're, because we have a 48-hour period, were you actually looking in that direction the instant they arrived? I'm taking your success from this that yes, you were.
That would be really bad if I actually was not paying attention when they came.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to eat. You're going to have to take care of bodily functions at some point. You're going to have to.
That's what emptying out the suit's for.
right? I mean, there
Just kidding.
are a million reasons.
Sure,
why
and
for
I
this
know.
hat to
I'm
sink
just
in you should be
teasing. I'm
looking.
just teasing.
No, but you're right. Yeah, that would.
It would.
I'm gonna camp out here for 48 hours, and
I'm giving
the
you guys
instant they
I'm
arrive,
giving you guys a
I'm not
penny
watching.
for the awesome planning, but Mark had to poop.
Yep.
Your camera froze for some reason there,
Oh.
Daniel.
Oh yeah, it did. Oh, now you're.
Yeah, I stopped it and started it.
So this is what you see. So you see a point of light, and then the point of light grows into a large circle the size of that pad.
As soon as I see the
Um,
point of light, I'm recording. Also, by the way.
Okay. Um, the light is rays of green and pink, and so you see little pie wedges of green and pink, and and just bright just spots that spread out. And as soon as it gets as wide as the pad, you see tall, slender creatures walk out through the light.
Yeah, those are terrifying.
They their bodies.
Oh, that is not what you described.
No, it is. He said cyclopses with scary teeth.
Yeah, I was picturing a cyclops. You know, big, buff, dumb.
I said they were
giant.
tall and slender.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still picturing a giant from Roman and Greek history.
So their bodies are covered in this shiny material. It looks armor-ish, except it's very shiny and very form-fitting to them. But your military mind, Mark, is Shinkansen is translating it as armor.
Right.
And there are 10 of them that walk out onto the pad.
Okay.
And
So they are walking through a portal then.
yes,
Okay. So
a green and pink portal.
right. So
Very
as soon as I see that, snap, transmit, and then I will say it is a portal through comms.
Are these
You
creatures
see
making
them-
any noises or anything?
Is what making noises?
The creatures?
No.
Oh, okay.
They walk forward, and you see they hold out their arm, and from their hand, which their hands have 8 fingers, and although it looks armored, who knows? But they have these giant metal claws on the end of their hands too.
Of
But
course they do.
They hold their hands out, and this light glows from their hand, and they're aiming that light at each of the barrels.
And I will say to Z Teach, be prepared to drop the frequency on my mark. Does it look like they're moving the barrels or they're scanning the contents of the barrels?
They're waving their hands at the barrels. The barrels are not moving.
Okay. I know which one the bomb is in. I will see when they move their hand over it.
The instant one of them points his hand at that barrel, everybody make a notice roll.
So that's be a 7, which is still not enough for raise.
It's not site-based,
Oh,
so it's a 5.
okay.
Waiting for Z-Teach. Notice roll, sir.
I don't think that's the name of that movie.
All right,
I clicked it like 3 times. I'm not sure why it's not coming. Why it wasn't coming through.
it's okay. So 3 successes there. Mark's going to be the only one that gets this timing. All 3 of you have heard this. Mark got the timing. All 3 of you hear Borisco scream.
Oh.
And he screamed. He held the hand up, waved it over the barrel, the one you're watching.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And as soon as he did that, you saw the head look towards the house, and Borisco screamed.
And I'll say,
I'm going to deal cards.
drop the frequency. Drop the bass. Thank you, Daniel.
We'll do this in card
Is
order.
anyone in the room with Briscoe?
Nobody said they
No.
were.
We
No,
weren't in the
no
room
one
where it
was
happened.
in the room where it happened.
The
I
room
didn't
where it
remember
happened.
where Z-Teach was.
You and I did. You are on the. You and I are on the same wavelength tonight.
I'm guessing you want the 10, even though it's not going to help you.
Yes,
You know, it started like everybody in the room right now started singing it, Mark.
that's awesome.
Started singing what?
The room where it happened. It's from Hamilton.
Singing what?
The room where it happened.
Oh, that's
the name of the song. Yes, that's why we
Where
were
it
saying it.
happened.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna be off for like 5 minutes for the things that happened at this time.
Okay.
I see. Okay. I had to Google that. I've not seen that play. Musical.
Yes, it's very good.
Okay. So I go first.
Wait, you can't Benny for a new card, can you?
I don't know.
I don't think so, but let me look.
Okay. Since we're kind of killing time until Daniel gets back.
Page 89. It was in the index, Chris.
Wow.
Wow.
I know, right? Using bennies, re-rolling a trait. Bennies grant a hero a re-roll on any trait. Best of all, you get to keep the best total from all your rolls. Unless you roll a critical failure.
Right.
Recover from shaken.
Right.
Soak rolls. Draw a new action card. When the game is in rounds, the character can spin a Benny to get a new action card.
I can do it.
This occurs after all cards are dealt and edges or hindrances like quick, level-headed, or hesitant are resolved. Then players or the GM may spin bennies for an additional card as many times as they like and take their choice of all their draws. Edges like quick or level-headed do not apply to these additional cards drawn with bennies. This continues until everyone passes, then the round begins and no further cards may be drawn. By the way, while I'm at it, reroll damage. You can spend a Benny to reroll damage, including any additional dice you may have gained from a raise on the attack roll. Regain power points. A character with an arcane background can spend a Benny to regain 5 power points. And lastly, I mentioned this to you guys on occasion and you never use it, but influence the story.
Right.
This one is entirely up to the game master, who may allow your character to spend a Benny to find an additional clue if you're stuck, come up with some mundane but needed item, or push a non-player character into being a bit more agreeable. So basically, before you spend the Benny, you say, hey, I want to spend a Benny and do this. You and I have a conversation, and we say, okay, this is what happens.
Right.
But yeah, I'm all about that if you ever want to.
Yeah, Like, I don't think I'm gonna get higher than a 10, but I'm gonna spend a bounty to do it, just in case I get or higher than a queen. I mean, but we'll see.
Okay.
What was the first option on that list that said you could
Re-roll a trait.
oh, okay.
So
But it said you could like keep the best option, which
unless you roll a critical failure.
yeah.
So if
I
you
thought
spend 3
whatever-
bennies,
Yeah.
if you spend 3, a trait roll. So when you roll your athletics, right?
Yeah.
And you go, oops, no, I failed. You can spend a Benny and spend a Benny and spend a Benny. And then, and this is one, again, I just learned reading this because we've always been like, oh, I got a 7, but I really want a 9. Oh, now I've rolled just a 6, so I'll keep the 6. Well, really, you should have kept the 7.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't know
So
you could
we've
choose
learned.
the best.
Yep.
Right. So that's one where we've learned. Okay, let me draw a card.
Come on, big money.
My headphones are dying. I forgot to grab my earbud. They're in the car.
I'm assuming you want to keep the 10, not the 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the 10, but I'm gonna re-roll one more time. I mean, redraw one more time.
4.
10 it is. Z-Teach, do you want to draw a card knowing that I have now pruned several low cards from the deck for you? In an opportunity to drop the frequency before the GM acts. Oh, he probably can't hear us.
Yeah, he put his finger up for a reason, I'm assuming.
Oh, I can't see him. I can only see whoever's talking.
Yeah, he's taking his headset off.
Okay.
Although maybe he has it back on. I think his battery died on his headset. Although now I don't know. Oh, no, he's moving. I feel like I'm suddenly narrating a sports event.
Yep.
We don't hear you, Daniel, if you're talking to us.
And it looks like the headset's gotten the better of Daniel. Let's see how he recovers from this play.
Well, I don't know, because he gave us the finger of wait a minute.
Well, maybe, I don't know, was he giving us the finger or was he giving you the
Well, a wait a minute finger, not the finger. A wait a minute finger. There's a big difference between a and the, isn't there?
There is.
So I think we're still in a holding pattern here.
Yeah.
And I think he's looking up homework for somebody. Uh-oh. Something struck his fancy. We've got a smile.
Text him and see if he can hear us.
How about now?
think-
Can you
Oh,
hear me
yeah, we
There
can hear
go.
you.
Now I
Hey.
can, yeah.
now? Yeah, my USB headphones died, and my normal earbuds are in the car, so I'm linking my Yeti mic and my other headbuds, Naomi's earbuds, to try to limp this along.
Nice. So
No, it's working. It's working.
the
That's
question,
what I called.
Daniel, is combat has not started yet, and I've just pruned several low cards from the deck. Do you want to spend bennies to try to drop the frequency before the GM gets to act?
Yes.
Okay. Doop. Woo-hoo. You get an 8, which is better.
One more, please.
Come on, big money.
A 7.
Jeez.
Prune the deck, huh? One more,
I
please.
did. I got 4s and an 8. That's why I figured you'd get a face card here.
So is Community Showcase you, Mark, or do we have a
Negative.
new listener?
Nope. That's welcome to the channel, Community Showcase.
All right. Are we done with the bennies, or
No, I gave another Benny to try again.
oh you got a
That's what-
7?
I know, and I get 2 7s. I had 5. I
Oh
have
yeah,
2
yeah, yeah.
now.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
5.
God.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Hey, I'm
And
trying here.
one more. This is why I don't
Wish I
play
could spend
ratings.
mine, but
Are you
Sveta can't help with it.
Kidding?
And,
Oh,
and last one.
okay. Sorry, man. That totally sucks. It's like there we go.
Is that
And
higher than
spades is
hearts?
higher than or clubs is higher than spades, is it not?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Nope.
Oof.
Technically, we go at the same time, right?
No.
No, negative. No, the
Okay.
suits matter. And spades is the highest. And then I don't remember. I think it's black, red, black, red.
I think you're right.
And
Man.
so I don't remember if it's hearts or diamonds, but the game does it automatically, so I haven't had to try to remember.
It happens. That
Yeah.
was all of mine. So
I'm trying to think if I should try one more time.
you're just gonna be wasting stuff you might use later.
I guess. All right.
And like I can't do anything about it, can I?
No.
Well, I mean, you can get a higher card. Now, what you would do with the higher card, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Sveta doesn't know how to change frequencies or anything. So.
Yeah. Nope, I think we're locked in.
All right. So there are, let me see. Let me do something real quick. I came up with an idea all of a sudden. There we go. Let me see what this does. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm just going to put 10 guys out there so that if things happen to guys, we can know who we're talking about.
Right.
Whoop. I dropped one guy and I don't know where he went. There we go. I don't know why an alien has a crossbow. That's hilarious. One more. Okay. All right. So, the guy with the glowing hands, the one right here,
Mm-hmm.
obvious is in how they're positioned, but they're, he is the one that's at your barrel.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, wait a minute. I lost my page. 147.5, is this not right where I think it is? Oh, that's why. Um, okay, got it. Okay. Okay. So you see the barrel lift off the ground and fly about 20 feet away from the aliens.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I was afraid of.
the and you can see this guy who I moved. This guy seems to be the one that's moving the barrel. The Go ahead, Mark, and uh, Mark, make a vigor roll.
One vigor roll coming up. Success.
All right. Um, you felt a pressure on your brain, but you appear to have been able to resist it. Another vigor roll from you, Sveta.
Okay.
Okay, same thing with you. You felt like something was trying to clamp down on your brain, and you seem to have resisted it. Um, make a smarts roll, Z-Teach. Okay. Um, my roll is higher. Um, so a success allows one truthful answer from the subject. So you
And
hear
this is them knowing where I am, even though I'm in the house in the second floor, right?
yes.
Okay.
Um, you feel the presence you feel in your mind feels dark and feels angry, and um, uh, the presence says, "Who are you?"
And so it's expecting an answer from me?
Yeah,
A truthful answer?
yeah, it has to be truthful.
Ziggy Vanko, first blood heir of Uncle.
Okay. All right. Z Teach. Your turn.
Ziggy is going to smack the big red button that cancels the frequency. And he's also going to click the button that replaces the image of the flowers with the image that was sent to me.
Okay. So we're going to start with the big red button. Hey, something else that's in the index. I'm on fire tonight.
I think the idea is that they're on fire.
Yeah. Ideally.
What direction did that barrel fly in? And is it in? Are we in any danger now?
Well, you might be.
The barrel moved towards Mark, towards the barn.
Okay.
So
I
yes.
don't know how far away the barn is from the. Like, is 20 feet now like on the other side of the wall from me?
No, 20 feet is right about there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the grenade templates.
Mm-hmm.
So a frag is the large blast. A large blast is 12 yards.
Right.
So that's 36 feet.
Correct.
The AP is the small blast, which is 4 yards, which is 12 feet. And the high explosive is the medium blast, which is 8 yards, which is 24 feet.
Yes.
Okay. So, the AP grenades, the explosion from the AP grenade is going to fall short of where they are. However, the frag and the high explosive will overlap where they are.
Yep.
Okay. So, and there's
3 frags.
3 frag and 6 high explosive.
Yep.
Okay. Let me write that down so I can scroll the chat down. 3 frag. And
Is something being rolled to find out which one is in the barrel?
huh?
Is something being rolled to find out which one is in the barrel?
No, we know what's in the barrel. I was just looking at range. The barrel moved 20 feet. What's the template size on the grenades? The aliens were right next to the barrel. So if the barrel moved 20 feet, does
Oh,
the...
so all the grenades were in one barrel?
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought they were spread out.
No.
No.
Probably in hindsight, Daniel, what we should have actually done was had the frequency, but then also had spread them out across multiple barrels with a wire between all of them, that if the wire gets disconnected, they all blow up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
But that's hindsight.
I mean, if you allow it, we'll do it now.
All right. I'm looking up one more thing about grenades. Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, that's armor. Where's grenades? There we go. Okay. Grenade launchers. There we go. Oh, okay. I had to look. I couldn't remember if frag grenades were mega damage, but they are.
Yep. That's why I tried to buy all the grenades they had.
Yeah. So that's 5d6 mega damage just for the frags.
Times 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
This is going to require scratch paper. All right.
Well, not really. You could just roll 15 die 6.
Huh?
You could just roll 15 die 6.
Well, I'd rather not. I like to see. I don't know. I guess I could. I will let you decide how to roll because they're your grenades. So, roll 3 5d6 or 15d6. Your choice.
Do they explode?
Oh yeah, they explode.
Okay.
Okay. No AP. Okay. 64. All right. Wow. All right. And then now I have to scroll up. 6 high explosive. So roll 9d10.
Times 6?
No. Just 9d10.
Just 9.
Yeah.
Wait. If
It's
there's
3d10 damage. Oh,
yeah, that's wrong. If it's 3d10 times 6, that'd be 18 die 10, right?
yeah, you're right.
Okay. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
All right. So
This is by the way why I did this.
okay, so 186 points of damage. Oh, and the now that I've closed the book,
The
not that it matters, but I'm
the
curious
armor
if
piercing
there's-
ones were 16 AP.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. They fall short. They make the boom louder, but that's all those do. They're outside 20 feet.
Oh, I'm sorry. The high explosive were 4 AP 4.
Yeah. Yes, they are. I see that. So yeah, so that's AP4.
And AP 3 on the frags.
AP nothing on the frags.
That's not what you had on my frags.
I don't know.
3 AP grenades.
AP nothing.
Okay.
Okay, well, 186 damage, whether or not it has AP or not. You see there is an explosion of purple and pink. And when the dust clears, there is just debris of barrels and flowers on the platform. Around the platform, there are half the robots are destroyed. And you don't see any of the aliens. And the portal seems to have closed.
Okay. I will. Oh, it's not my turn. It's actually Z Teaches. That was all on his turn.
Yeah, that was his turn. Anything else you want to do on your turn, Mr. Z Teach?
No, I think I did enough.
Bullet Train.
I will say over the comms, it looks like the aliens fled somehow before the explosion.
Oh no, you see body parts.
Oh, it looks like it got some of them.
When I said debris, it's a family show. I was trying.
Sorry. So can I get an estimate of if any of them actually died, or how many?
Yeah. Well, I don't guess you can know 100%.
Right.
But it seems like you killed most of them.
It looks like
if not all of them.
It looks like we got several of them. The portal is gone. I did not see anyone go through the portal, so I'm not sure.
Well, they would have had to do it in a split second while there was, right? Because you were blinded by a blast and shower of flowers and robot parts and aliens.
I think they're all dead, but I'm not positive. Yeah. Also, looks like half the robots were taken out by the blast. However, I think leaving them on and concentrating on the pad for if they come back through is a good idea. Or if any of their friends come through is a good idea. Was there any damage to the actual barn? I'm guessing not, because it was far enough away, I think.
You know, it's going to have a little bit of
yeah. I'm sure. Like,
no, it's fine. It's just not as pretty looking as it once was.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of shrapnel and stuff, but nothing structural wrong.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Although it does also have flower juice all over it.
Yes.
Speaking of
which is why my helmet's up.
Sveta, how about a vigor roll?
Time for you to dance, Sveta. I hope you dance.
And you fall asleep. You needed a raise. It just aerosolized a few tons of flowers. If you're talking, we don't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
I was asking, can I Benny it?
Yes, of course. That's your Benny out there?
Spend another one.
I don't want to go to sleep, guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, now you know how I feel.
Apparently the game wants me to go to sleep, so I...
Nap time for Sveta.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right. Mr. Shinkansen.
I'm going to slide down, hop off the roof. via the ladder that we had placed up there to get me up
However
there.
you got there, sure.
Yeah. And then I'm going to run to Sveta and realize that I can't pick her up or pull her and leave her there. But I'm going to say Sveta's asleep. It aerosoled the flowers that were in the canisters.
Can we see like a cloud of pollen?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm constantly having to wipe off the front of my helmet. I suppose to answer your question from earlier, this is how it might be able to help the Hetman.
Yes, but it means harvesting them,
It does.
which means making not good with the flowers that I hope Sveta is talking to. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, 20 of you that are hiding in the flowers right now. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Can you come and pull my large friend out of the giant cloud of spores, please? The Kruger fields are gone. Kruger friends. The Freddy Krugers. The Kruger Knights.
The Kurguth.
Kruguth.
Yeah. You know, it's a good thing I went through and named each one of them.
Did you name one Paste and another one Film and another one Nuclear Shadow? Were those the names?
Wow.
Hey, it's been a dark show.
It was interesting to see which way it would go. You know, I was open to a whole lot of a range of possibilities. Everything from some form of parlay to a battle to it. I was not expecting this.
So check off the other thing for the evening. Nothing what John expected. Huzzah!
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
How about that? Let me scroll back down.
You know what this means though, right? We killed 10 of them. 10 unknown, very powerful psychic DBs. I
So
think
how much experience did we get?
Yeah, that's exactly. And we saved 20 sentient robots. Let's not forget that. Well, 21 now.
Yeah. So here's what happens. Robots come and pull Sveta up toward next to the well. And of course the cloud is dissipating. You, by the way, in the house, Z-Teach, you have no side effects. You have nothing.
Okay.
And your science can reason that, just because of osmosis and that big of an aerosolized blast or something, you don't understand why you're not at least a little bit affected.
It's because you danced.
I'll have to maybe look into that later.
So there you go. So
once Sveta is by the well, I'll actually ask if they can bring her inside and put her on like a sofa, or she's 7 foot tall. She may not fit on the sofa, bed, whatever we can find.
52 asks if they should put water on her.
That might work. A little bit of water, not much. We don't want to drown her.
Okay.
And
well, I thought maybe if the flowers made her go to sleep, maybe we should wash off the flowers.
That would be a good first step. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, please do that. And I'm going to check on Barisco because I heard a scream earlier. From the house.
Yeah, he's wrapped in a bicycle, laying in bed, and very dead, with a look of complete horror on his face.
I will call through the house. Barisco's dead. They killed him somehow.
Well, not somehow. They were attached to him.
What do you mean?
They knew his frequency, the frequency of his mind.
Hmm.
They were able to find me hiding in an office 300 feet away.
Yeah, they tried to do something to my mind, but I was able to fight them off.
They wash Sveta off and bring her into the living room and throw her on the couch. Well, set her nicely.
And the couch immediately explodes from the impact on the ground.
Couch explodes, floor explodes, ground basement.
Couch legs just give out.
That right.
Arms
That's
just fall off it.
yep. All that. All that.
All that. So yeah. So 52 looks at you and says, "Will we leave now?"
Once Sveta wakes up and once we wrap everything up here, I think so.
Give me another bigger roll, Sveta.
Okay. Really wants me to stay asleep.
Oh, you did roll. I'm sorry.
I know
I
he
was
keeps
looking at the
getting
seven
the
and it
exact
didn't-
same things.
Yeah, I was still waiting for you to roll. Yeah, no, you wake up. You don't need a raise now.
Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of groggy, but you know you're in the barn, and now all of a sudden you're in the house. And by the way, nobody tried to talk to you while you were out.
Oh yeah, their little psyches were probably scattered across the cosmos.
While I was asleep, did anything? Those plants were picked and dead, so like I don't know if.
I just said no. Nothing tried to talk to you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like about Mark and them trying to talk.
No,
to
no,
me.
no, no.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
Would I miss while I was out?
Not much. There's no sign of the aliens. I think we blew them all up. And the flower juice got on you and you fell asleep. And I had them pull you into the house and they washed the juice off you and you seem to have woken up and Barisco's dead.
That explains why I'm soaking wet. I guess that's a shame about Barisco.
Yeah. Meh. Is it?
Meh.
I'm not really sure.
Really that much of a loss, I guess.
But I think we should leave the robots set to defend the pad in case any of them or their friends come back. They now has a picture of them and will attack them on sight. Well, try to harvest them. Same difference.
Yep.
Is there anything else you can think that you want to do here? C-Teach? Sveta?
What do you want to do with the sentient ones?
They want to come with us. I don't see a problem with that. Do you?
well,
All of
52
them?
does.
52 to I've been talking with each of them, trying to give them the spiel about joining the army and learning skills, etc. That's I'm sorry, maybe I didn't make that clear. That's why I was having the initial conversation with 52 and he seemed like he kind of spoke for everybody. But if not,
No, that was him speaking.
I would have had that conversation with all of them, each of them, during those 2 weeks, so that they could figure out what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Collectively, the others like your idea of the training, and they're worried about the danger, and they want to find out what a town and a city and they want to see the country. Which, by the way, if I say I want to see the country, it means I want to drive through the woods. They don't mean that. They want to go see the country you keep talking about,
Right.
as if they're gonna, I don't know, walk over the hill and, oh, there's the country.
Mm. Yeah.
Like seeing the plane or seeing a
Well,
monument or
I mean, if they are interested in doing the training and whatnot, then I would basically draw out a rough map for them to get them back to the name of that city.
If they arrive without us, are they going to be treated differently because they are?
As long as they carry the proper messaging, it should be fine.
So this is where you are. There is actually a little indicator there. I can't remember if I showed you this before. I think I did. But that marked where the bridge was, and you're just past the bridge. If you remember, here's Nikopol.
Mm-hmm.
That's the blown up city with the
ghosts.
The ghosts, and then why can't I say the name of the city? The Chuklov, it was up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then your monument to the
Cossacks
was about here.
Right.
That forest and the fairy ring were here, and now you guys are right here.
Right.
Now, right about up this way, I mean, the closest city is Kivon-Ri, which isn't far. I mean, if you guys just Google Ukraine so you can follow along and look at the map, you'll see. There you go. Okay. Because you're right on the large. You look at where Nikopol is, and then look at Kivon-Ri, and you'll have to zoom in a little bit to see where you are.
Yeah, and I mean, we can do that. We can take them with us to there, and then have them.
I'm just giving you options.
Yeah, follow.
The other option would be for them to go. The nearest city, if they were going to go to a city, would be Zaporozhye, which is probably about twice the distance. And then past Zaporozhye is Dnipro, and then a long, long way away is Donetsk.
Donetsk, yeah. But if they want to see the city, going to Donetsk.
Yeah, the closest.
I mean,
is
sorry.
Kryvyi Rih.
If they want to see the country,
however one says that.
If they want to see the country, then sending them to Donetsk would be the way for them to do that.
Right. And Kryvyi Rih was was Danila.
Yeah.
Which he's probably back at his city now. So just letting you know, that's the guy that is running that particular. In it together, and Anna Mosey, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. Anyway, that's who's running that particular city. And as a reminder, bu- bu- it the that city is known for producing steel. That's their thing.
I mean,
I
we
don't know
can.
if you're planning on going to the city. I'm just letting you know.
Right.
Options.
What do you think, Z-Teach? Sveta?
I don't think they're going to be safe, but if you think they'll be safe with the right message.
Well, I mean, if they show up in Donetsk with the right message, that's where is Donetsk where the hetman is, or is he somewhere else now? Yeah.
Oh, he's at Donetsk.
So I mean, that's
where Orlov had his headquarters.
Yeah, that's where that's.
Sorry.
That's where.
But that's a long trip because they're walking.
Can we give them directions back to Dnipro and then?
I mean, even that's a ways. I mean, an option for you is there are means of transportations, and if you take them to Zaporizhia, however one says that name, you might be able to get them transportation to another city, and at least that way you're introducing them and saying, "Hey, here are these guys." Since Z-Teach just bring up the point about, you know, what's going to happen to them if they just show up by themselves.
Right.
But up to you.
Well, I mean, I guess let's do that then. Go to Zaporizhia, find transportation to.
Okay, so that's the plan. Is maybe in the morning, head out that way.
I think so.
Okay.
Unless there's anybody else got a better idea.
So we're backtracking to Zaporizhia?
No, well, I don't know which way you were planning to go. It's north west from where you are. I think you were talking about going to Nikolaev, which is southwest from where you are.
Right.
But so it's not backtracking, but it's an indirect route of going to where you're going.
So we're going to Kryvyi Rih.
Yes.
Okay. We were saying Zaporizhia.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm suddenly really tired, but but yes.
Okay.
Those grenades took a lot out of him.
They did. They blew my mind, man.
Well, let's do it.
I'm good with Kryvyi Rih.
Okay. Well, let's leave it there then. We will we will start next time. We'll start with you guys waking up in the morning and doing whatever you want to do.
Okay. Sounds good. Cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, if you'd like to support us, you can do so by heading over on our Twitch page and clicking the follow button. If you're able to, hit that subscribe button to become one of our rock stars. As always, if you are on YouTube, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and of course the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload new content, which is almost every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. And last but not least, you can head to our Patreon page at patreon.com/gamersledge, no matter where you're watching, to get your name on every single show we do as a producer for as little as $1 a week. For John, for Chris, Daniel, and myself, thanks for watching. Until next time, game on.
Game on.